Hyderabad start the innings with a single.
Big appeal. Umpire totally unconvinced. Wow, that's been put away nicely.
That's what the crowd have come to see. Nicely played. Cohen, a new bowler, is coming into the attack from the river end. Wait on. Little too eager in that delivery. No ball.
And they go through for one. Oh, picks that one up nicely. Good shot.
Yep. And that gets to the boundary. 4 runs. Wait on. Curran to bowl this one again. Looks like they're just not timing the run in correctly. That's a good boundary.
He's beaten all ends up by that.
No ball, just overstepping the line there.
Free hit. A lot of players will miss out on runs trying to slog. Great shot, driven straight down the wicket.
That goes for 4. Good shot.
Perfect technique and placement. Loud appeal.
He's been struck on the pads. It certainly did something off the pitch, and it's a good, confident shout, but maybe it did too much.
Nice fielding there. Good.
This is how fast YouTube is with Brave. Notice how there's no pre-roll ads? And here's how you can see how much time you save with Brave. Look, Chrome was great in 2008, but it's 2021. Join the
Four all the way. Wonderful. Oh, not able to connect there.
Ends the over.
This bowler knows how to give the ball an almighty tweak. Let's see how they go.
Great delivery to find the edge.
Yep, catch!
Great work. Held his nerve while the ball was in the air and takes a good catch in the deep.
Bairstow is the new batter at the non-strikers end. That's edged.
Oh, they're confident.
Keep up!
Smash that to the boundary. Nice fall. A perfect example of how to play that shot.
Ends that over. Ali, a new bowler, is coming into the attack from the river end. Two runs added. That's got to be close. Worthy shout, but not out. Nothing the batsman could have done better. Great ball.
Nearly took out the stumps.
What a delivery. Draws the edge. Four runs there. Super shot.
Right out of the middle. very comfortable there. Textbook.
Nice shot. 4 runs. Bang! Great shot.
These batsmen are looking pretty solid at the moment. The Indians are 2 overs behind. The overrate at the moment. And I'm joined by Tepo. Tepo.
Yes, Nate, it's been interesting playing here. India 2 overs behind after South Africa now have crossed the century mark. 103 for 3 after 20 overs. Quinton de Kock is still in the middle here. He's got himself a lovely little 58 off 69 delivery. So not quite striking at the same rate we saw at Paarl, but he will continue. Rasifan, this one on strike here for Yadav. A back of a length delivery outside off stump. A quick single taken to the man at cover. A shy at the stumps. Head in hands from the entire Indian team as they had the opportunity to run out set batsman Quinton de Kock and Najri. What a time to come in. South Africa 104 for 3. It's hot out here.
Good afternoon, Tepo. Yeah, what a time to get in the box. The 2 batsmen, Rasif van der Dussen and Quinton de Kock, were looking so comfortable at the crease. And just as we took our seats, a very iffy run, so to say, and he would have definitely been out. If it was a better throw.
If he threw that better, the iffy run would have been run out. And Kala Mtusi says, did Bavuma get run out to another? Oh my gosh! Oh, full length half volley in the arc, out the park, just driven down the ground for 6 runs. Quinton de Kock. Hey, if you aim for the king, hey, you better not miss, Brad. Damn!
I think that shot deserved all your energy over there.
Yes.
I mean, I think it's fair to say that was the shot of the day so far. Quinton de Kock is looking in imperious form.
This one going down the leg side, or actually just wrapping Quinton de Kock on the pads, a full-length delivery, and Yadav, after taking a bit of tap off the last delivery, comes back with a delivery that is a little bit more difficult to play. But Quinton de Kock just stamping his authority on the game here. Very, very valuable wicket as comes around the wicket. Does Yadav a beautiful reverse sweep from Quinton de Kock, pierces the gap behind square on the onside with no third man in place. Another boundary here for Quinton de Kock, trying to hit Yadav out of the attack.
It looks like Quinny is just stepping up another gear after a very tricky morning where the ball was definitely doing something, unlike in Paarl. But Quinny's got through it, kind of like a test match innings, so to say, got through it, and now he's cashing in those middle overs.
Indeed, a full-length delivery now to Quinton de Kock, and he just drives this down to long on for a single. He had a slip, a man at short, third man, also mid on. Oh, sorry, it's for a right-hander now, Rasif van der Dussen, who has a leg slip. Okay, so Virat Kohli is not moving from his position. A leg slip, a man at short, third man, cover, mid off, a man at deep back, a deep point, mid wickets as well. And Yadav just pulling out of his run-up and not bowling the ball. There's also a man at long on and a man at a deep backward square leg. So not quite a fine leg, but he's definitely on the boundary. This delivery rocketed in to the right-handed Rassie van der Dussen on his off stump, driven back to the bowler for no run. And that ends the 21st over. A mammoth over there. Literally 2 boundaries, a huge 6, and a brilliant reverse sweep 4 for Quinton de Kock. South Africa 115 for 3 after 21 overs. De Kock on 69 and Rassie van der Dussen on 16 of 21. That's 69 of 72 balls.
Tipo, the partnership is developing nicely. Batsmen came together with South Africa in a tricky position. But the partnership now 45. They've like I said, they've gotten through that new ball period. And now it's what they call the money overs. Through the middle, key rotating the strike, putting the bad ball away, like Quinton de Kock did in the last over. I think Quinton de Kock is going to be the man to actually up the strike rate, go more, and Rassie van der Dussen kind of plays that anchor role through the middle of the innings.
Indeed,
and he's in good form.
Both of them in good form here. Both of them making runs throughout the series. Rassie van der Dussen in the first one, and we see Yuzvendra Chahal coming into the attack now. And as you said, very vital in the middle overs for India to slow down the run rate. We've seen that South Africa have been guilty of being quiet in the middle overs in one-day internationals in the past, but now with the top order striking, with the batters actually doing quite well. They've done quite well to score runs of late. Don't forget to tweet us at OneWorldSR. We'd love to hear from you. Keep you in the conversation as we see Quinton de Kock here. He has a leg slip in place for Chahal. This one flighted on the pads of de Kock, drives this down the ground on the offside. The man at long off will do the fielding as the South African batters come through for 2. He's now on 71 off. He's on 71. And Rassie van der Dussen on 16, 71 of 74 balls.
I must say that is brilliant running from the two batters. A very hard day once again at Newlands, and keeping the fields under pressure, running the first one hard. Very important in the middle overs.
Indeed, Chahal coming over the wickets, right arm over the wickets to Quinton de Kock, flighted into the pads and driven on the onside now, where the man at mid wicket does the fielding. Kial Raul, he has a long on, a deep square leg, a deep backward square leg. Also a man at short third man, points, cover, and long off. Flight to delivery once again on the pads, driven to the bowler. Good fielding off his own bowling from Chahal for no run there.
I think like we said in Paarl, the South Africa have played the spinners really well throughout the series. They've definitely improved since the last time India were here and they lost the series 5-1.
Indeed, a flight to delivery now on middle stump, driven to long off a single. And Rassie van der Dussen now on strike. And I couldn't agree with you more. We saw in the first one-day international, Ravi Chandran Ashwin and Chahal only getting the 1 wicket between them. It was Ashwin's wicket. Chahal only, let me confirm with you, I believe he only struck once in the previous game as well. So that's the key for the South Africans in the batting department. The partnerships, number 1, and how well they've been playing the spinners, number 2, especially in the middle overs on the very slow pitches. Rassie van der Dussen on strike, Chahal over the wicket, flighted onto the pads, whipped off those very same pads all the way down to the man at deep mid-wicket. Another single here for South Africa, 119 for 3, rotating the strike nicely here.
Actually, you make a good point there, Tipo, about South Africa playing the spinners. And Janeman Malan, after the last game, in the post-match press conference, actually spoke about how they've outplayed the Indian batters in the spin department, basically.
Literally, flight to delivery outside off stump for Quinton de Kock. A solid block on the offside and long on does the fielding. So a good block into the gap. That brings up the 50 partnership for Quinton de Kock and Rassie van der Dussen. That 50 partnership coming off 60 balls, 3 fours, 1 massive 6. De Kock 31 and van der Dussen 17, 2 extras in this partnership.
That is a brilliant partnership, just what South Africa needed at the time. And once again, the theme of the series is when South Africa lost a wicket or lost 2 or 3 quick wickets, there's always 1 or 2 batters that have stepped up. And that's a huge fillip to the batting department and the batting unit as a whole. It's only David Miller that hasn't got a chance to bat.
Literally. and the thing is, he hasn't got a chance to bat, and that's a good sign you'd feel for the South African batters. As this delivery flighted to Rassie van der Dussen, inside out cover drive. It was in the air for a while as it was wide of the man at cover. The man at long off will do the fielding on the cover boundary, and Rassie van der Dussen will get 2 for a good looking shot. It was airborne though, so a potential chance for a catch, but well placed in the end.
Now, the cock, like you said, the previous over, it seems like he's going to target Yadav from the not just let him bowl anymore. His eyes in.
Giant Yadav now bowling to Rassie van der Dussen, a full length delivery on the pads. Just played to the man at long on for a single. It was a solid forward defensive that keeps the strike rotating, keeps the scoreboard ticking at 123 now for 3. The cock to play back of a length delivery that just played back to the bowler for no run.
You know, Tipo, we've spoken about how South Africa has improved against spin bowling, and Rassie van der Dussen is the epitome of that, of how he has improved, especially against spinners.
Flight to delivery on the pads of Quinton de Kock, driven straight to long on for a single. Now, I couldn't agree more as this over ends the 23rd over, South Africa 129 for 3. And what I saw in particular, they're actually just checking for the no ball here. Murray Rasmus not moving just yet. And yes, no ball confirmed not to have happened. So that does end the over 129 for 3. And yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Rassie van der Dussen with the spin bowling. The way he came forward to it in the last game, we saw a lot of sweeps, a lot of reverse sweeps from the South African. And what you can tell from that, if you're playing spin on the front foot, shows that you are confident.
Yeah. No, 100%. Tipo. I remember Rassie van der Dussen when he just got into the team. He was playing in Shadab Khan and the Pakistan spinners, and he really struggled to score. What he's worked on and what's evident in this series that his scoring options has really opened up. You know, he's opened up more of the field for himself.
Indeed.
You know, like I said, giving him more options, reverse sweeps, going down the ground. You know, so he's really giving him more scoring options, and it's evident he has a ODI average of 75.
My man, this man is
getting
cooking.
big scores.
Literally an ODI average of 75 here. A lot of not outs there as well as Chahal continues to Quinton de Kock. This one flighted outside the off stump, a solid forward defensive. He has himself a leg slip, backward point. Also a man at cover and long off on the offside. On the leg side, Kel Rao is standing at mid wicket, long on, and a man at deep square leg and a deep backward square leg. This one whipped off the pads, deep backward square leg, doing the fielding there, casually runs single, and no need to run 2 there.
So the field for the right-handed Van der Dussen, we see a deep square leg going out to the boundary. On the railway side, we see a deep mid-wicket. And then also long on that's coming into the circle. We also have a long off and someone on the square boundary on the offside.
Indeed. South Africans here, good consolidation, 130 for 3 as this delivery, a good length delivery, pitching in line with middle stump, turning towards off stump. Rassie van der Dussen fends at this, and as it goes to a short third man, no run taken there.
It seems like India is still keen to break the partnership, though. There's still a slip in place. still on the attack, basically. Charles has just started his spell, so give him an attacking field.
This one on the pads, whipped off the pads by Rassie van der Dussen. They thought about a quick single there, but decided against it as Rishabh Pant moved swiftly to do the fielding at a short square leg region. And it's vital that the Indians will want to keep their tails up, will want to stay aggressive during these middle over periods. They've done well to slow down the run rate to an extent. A stumping opportunity as this turns away from the right hand, a good length delivery, beating the outside edge of Rassie van der Dussen, and Rishabh Pant moved swiftly once again to absolutely dislodge one of the stumps. I can't tell which one it is. It's the off stump. Did very, very well there. What bowling there from Chahal as well.
That's the perfect leg spinner. Shane Warne would love that delivery. Pitched on middle, just turned enough to beat the outside edge, the forward defensive from Rassie van der Dussen. Achieved that Chahal has settled in nicely into his ball. 1.5 over so far for 6 runs.
Indeed. Rassie van der Dussen relatively deep in his crease as he came forward. This one, a flighted delivery on the pads, whipped through the onside all the way to the cow corner boundary. It's running all the way along the ground. So a great reply here from an over-pitched delivery for Rassie van der Dussen.
Oh, brilliant, Teppo. And just as we touched on how he has opened up the scoring areas, the old Rassie van der Dussen would have maybe not that for a single, but the new, better Rassie van der Dussen, especially in limited overs cricket, whipped it away for 4. After getting a almost unplayable ball, the previous delivery, he's put that at the back of his mind and used his feet well, whipped it through the gap for 4. And that's the new and improved 75 average in ODI cricket, Rassie van der Dussen.
Indeed, it's a mental game and a technical game here that Rassie van der Dussen has improved. And the Indian bowlers will be trying to find a way to get him out. A few good deliveries here and there, but what you feel about the Indian bowlers is that they just let it go with the freebie delivery from time to time. And it's vital for the South Africans that they take advantage of those shots, or at least take advantage of those deliveries when they do come, to make sure that they get every scoring opportunity they can. Yadav coming into the tap around the wickets to the left-handed Quinton de Kock, right arm around. This one, a back of length delivery played behind square, where man at short third man had done the fielding. I will give you the field changes here as Rassie van der Dussen, the right-hander, is now on strike. He has himself a leg slip, a man at short third man, deep backward point, cover, mid-off, a mid-wickets that is relatively close to the strip, a long on, a man at deep mid-wickets, and a man at deep backward square leg. A good delivery here from Yadav, good length, line outside the off stump, stayed relatively low, and Rassie van der Dussen came forward and blocked this to the man at cover for no run.
Except for you speak about that bad ball in every over. It's also the South African batsman who's putting pressure on the bowlers. And that's when the bad ball comes.
Indeed, couldn't agree more. This one driven to the man at mid-off for scampered through single for Rassie van der Dussen. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. The rotation of strike as the score goes to 36 now, or 136 for 3. That is literally the key for the South Africans. With the right-hand, left-hand combination, you make it difficult for the bowlers to maintain those lines and lengths. As this delivery whipped off the pads by Quinton de Kock, a good length delivery. And the man at deep square leg will do the fielding. A casual single as they move to 137 for 3.
Just Teppo, I think as this partnership has developed, they've kind of transferred that pressure back onto the fielding side with good running and also putting the bad ball away. With that good running comes the keeping the bowler guessing all the time, and the bad ball will come. So it's actually brilliant batting by these two South African batsmen.
Couldn't agree more. Pressure here on India as this back of a length delivery whipped off the pads of Rassie van der Dussen. The man at mid wicket will do the fielding, and that's the thing here. You're not seeing many dot balls. Even the good balls are being put away for singles, and that way the scoreboard keeps ticking, the strike keeps rotating, and the bowling side under pressure. That's much like how pressure works. When the bowling side literally brings in the dot balls, the batters will look for different ways to score runs, and that's where Timber Bavuma's run out came, a run that should not have come. Coming around the wickets to Quinton de Kock, inside out, a cover drive, just beating the man inside his left at cover as the man at long off does the fielding. 139 for 3 after 25 overs now.
Checo, like we said, this partnership has gone quickly. It seems like just when we came on air, it was a 50 partnership, and the partnership is now 69.
Sure.
It just shows how these two batters have accelerated in the last few overs. But they haven't even looked like they've gone for big shots or anything like that. It's just that they've transferred the pressure back onto the bowlers, and the bad balls have come and they have put it away. And once you open your eyes, the partnership is
Literally
gone to 70.
You blink and all of a sudden the partnership's pretty high. And right now, halfway mark, South Africa 139 for 3. What we normally hear is that Bon Jovi song that we're halfway there. We even saw some tweets in the previous game. Normally you double the score here from the halfway, or actually from 30 overs in fact. This one, Chahal continuing. Flight to delivery outside the off stump, blocked by Quinton de Kock back to the bowler for no run.
I think that was the old method, Tsepo, double score after 30 overs. But T20 cricket, since the advent of T20 cricket, that has gone out the window because you just don't know how many batters can get anymore in the last 10 especially.
True that. So this one, a good length, a good delivery from Chahal. Another dot ball is this one, a good length on off stump, driven back to him. He has a mid wicket, a man at square leg, a man at fine leg, deep mid wicket, and long on for the left-hander on the onside. A flight to delivery on the pads, and it was in the air for quite some time, but it went square of the wicket to the fielder at deep mid-wicket. Sorry, I thought it was a little bit more in front of square, a little bit more straight, going for that gap at Carl corner, but it actually went straight to the fielder for a single. 140 now for 3.
I see for the right-handed funded listen to the leg spinner, they've gone back with a slip. And there's also 4 other fields in the ring. So they're definitely trying to firstly break the partnership and then put the new batters under pressure.
And this one driven down the ground to long off for a single. And also what we noticed as South Africa moved to 141 for 3 for Rassie van der Dussen on the onside, there were 2 men sweeping in the deep backward square leg and deep mid wickets, and the man at a short fine leg and mid wicket, and mid on. So there was a big gap here that you would have expected Rassie van der Dussen to sort of try to go for, playing across the line. This one, Quinton de Kock now on strike, flighted outside the off stump back to the bowler. And those are the types of things that you'd see trying to play across the line, maybe getting a leading edge and go get a catch for the bowler. Chahal over the wickets, right arm over to Quinton de Kock. And he delicately blocks this for no run to end the 26th over. 141 for 3. De Kock on 82 now. And Rassie van der Dussen on 29. It's 82 of 92 and 29 of 33.
It was a very good over from Chahal. He only conceded 2 runs in that over. But just on that field for Rassie van der Dussen with the leg spinner table, that's the old school method of time to get the batter to play against the turn. And because it slips in, I mean, that's just the old school Indian, how they play on their types of pitches. You know, I'm trying to get the batter to score, get his eyes big, basically, for that big gap.
Exactly.
You know, and force the ball. And once your slip is in place and your short extra cover, that's where the wicket comes. Normally.
Indeed. And we had a tweet here from Wood saying that the spinners haven't really been producing results here for the Indians. And we spoke about how the South African bats have been doing very well to mitigate the spin, haven't lost too many wickets there. And as that tweet comes, we see a bowling change. Prashid Krishna coming into attack from the Weinberg end. We also have a Facebook comment from Yuan Liversage saying, please commentary. The commentary is good, but stick to it. No more singing. And I apologize for that. So I just felt that the Bon Jovi song was appropriate, but fair enough. The fans have spoken and the singing will stop. We hear you, Yuan. And if you want to be heard, please do tweet us at OneWorldSR. Comments on Facebook, comments on YouTube. And here comes Krishna with a short length delivery. Rassie van der Dussen gets on top of it and smacks it to the onside for a single as the man sweeping at deep mid wicket does the cleaning up.
It doesn't seem like Johannes is going to vote for you in SA Idols anytime soon.
I'm going for the wooden mic, my friend. Wooden mic all the way. I'm not trying to be a dull out here. I know my lane and I'm going to stay in it. Commentary and bad singing, but obviously the bad singing has to stop. The fans have spoken and we love hearing from the fans. Once again, do comment in, do tweet We'd love to hear from you.
Just Jadav Yadav, his spell, he had 6 overs for 37. After a good start, it seems like his Africans got used to his place and how it's his first game of the series. First time they had a look at him on the tour, especially. And they really took to him in his latter overs.
Indeed, this one a good length delivery for the left hand on top of off stump, and Quincy de Kock just whips it off his hips to a vacant square leg region for a casual single. 143 now for 3.
Rashid Krishna's first spell 4 overs for 21. I think Kyle Rahul is turning back to him to get that breakthrough. It seems like the seamers are going to have more joy on this type of wicket, but all that moisture of this morning has dissipated from if there was any. The heat has taken it out of the pitch.
A good length delivery on top of off stump for the right-handed Rassie van der Dussen. Open face of the bat and plates the man at backward point. As you heard, backward point, third man, a man at point. And there's also a man sweeping on the offside in the deep. It's Chahal, a man at cover, man at mid-off, mid-on. That's a little bit, he's actually on the circle. And on the onside, just the other two are the deep mid-wickets and the long leg at 45 on the onside. So a very big gap here on the leg side and lots of coverage on the off. This one just outside off stump, played very late, a back foot punch that just went past the man at backward point. It was airborne briefly as the Indians had cries of catch it, but it went all the way down to the man fielding on the boundary, Jasprit Bumrah, for a single. 144 for 3.
Just looking at South Africa's lineup, if we touch on the one change. When Pretorius comes in for Tabrisham, it definitely lengthens the batting, and we might see an earlier than usual acceleration towards the end of the innings because there's the extra batter in the lineup.
Never thought of it that way, and South Africans will probably be keen to use the rest of their order. We saw that David Miller came in pretty late. This delivery coming over the wickets to Quinton de Kock. Good length delivery. Quinton de Kock on the back foot, just blocking this for no run. And I'll probably see an acceleration in maybe the 35th over, maybe even the 40th over, instead of the 45th, just throwing hull and leather, just throwing the ball to the boundary as much as they can. And as well, with less movement on offer, we saw a lot of movement with the new ball. Less movement on offer, it's a lot easier. Quinton de Kock dots this down, backward of square to the man at backward point. Virat Kohli does the fielding, no run there. As after 27 overs, South Africa 144 for 3.
Yes, Chepo. I mean, Quinton de Kock is going to keep playing his game for sure. He doesn't change in any format. But he just if he sees us there to eat, he will go. But someone like Rassie van der Dussen, I think with this lineup that they have, after consolidating first with de Kock in this partnership that now stands at 74, I think maybe 30 to 35 overs, they can think of just accelerating the score. We saw this morning the average total for Newlands in day games in the first innings is not that high. But on a day like today, and then playing the spin as well, I think that average score, they're going to burst that average score to the maximum.
Indeed, the consolidation in the middle overs to not lose too many wickets definitely working in the South Africans' favour as Chahal comes over the wickets to the right-handed Rassie van der Dussen. It's back of a length and cuts to the man at backward point for a single. And we have a tweet here from Diana Patterson saying the singing was lovely. Oh, a nice little punctuation to the commentary. So, okay, the fans they carry on speaking. They do love the singing. Some like it, some don't. But I promise I will only sing when appropriate. I won't just batter your ears unnecessarily. I do appreciate that. Thank you, Diana. Chahal coming over the wicket to the left-hander, Quinton de Kock, a reverse sweep that pierces the gap between backward points and points, and it runs to the boundary. That was classy placement from the left-hand bat.
That was brilliant placement, Tepo. We have two men in that point position for the left-hander, and Quinton de Kock. If you took a rule, I think it's straight in the middle of those two players. They were standing and looking at each other. Nobody moved. That's how good the placement was.
Also, a lot of power. It got there very quickly. So if there was movement, it would have been in vain as Chahal continues here. Good length delivery now on off stump. It looks like a similar delivery that Quinton de Kock just whips to the leg side for a single. And as you said, you were talking about it with Rassie van der Dussen, but the repertoire of shots here from the South African batsman are looking very good. A ball that's on the offside, normally you'd see a shot ahead of square with a cover drive or a cut from Quinton de Kock. A beautiful reverse sweep, but this time it sweats. It's in the air for a long time, and it goes behind square into the gap there as well. One bounce 4 as it was airborne for quite some time. That's 2 boundaries in this over. That brings up the 150 for South Africa. And that's 150 coming in 172 balls, 16 fours and 160 to take South Africa to 153 for 3.
Another brilliant shot by Quinton de Kock. He's really maneuvering the field. He's making the captain think again. Another field change as the deep square leg comes square, more square from the wicket. Just with that ball win. So he's definitely maneuvering the field and making Rahul think about that field placing.
And that shows a batter in control here, and literally the gap that opened on the leg side, Quinton de Kock plays it there now. It was a good length delivery on the leg stump, and he just whipped it in between the man at maybe a backward square leg, but still within the circle. Got himself a single, 154 for 3. Rassie van der Dussen on strike has himself a short, fine leg, a man at mid-on, a deep backward square leg, and also a deep mid-wicket. On the offside, a cover, a point, a short third man, and then on the boundary, a man sweeping square of the wicket on the offside, and also a long off. This one, a good length delivery, pitching in line with off stump, turning away from the right hand and left by Rassie van der Dussen. He feels there are enough runs in this over, literally 10 off that over, as South Africa now 154 for 3. India 1 over behind the over rate.
Yeah, I think the spinners will pull it back, Teko, especially that over rate. But just on Quinton de Kock, he's played brilliantly from the second ODI, and now he's in the 90s. Again, I think the new family member might have something to do with his fantastic touch that is in with the bat.
Bro, whenever people mention that Quinton de Kock is a dad, it puts such a big smile on my face, bro. Truly, I'm very happy for Quinton de Kock. Good luck with his new daughter, and he's in a rich vein of form at the moment. Coming over the wickets is Krishna, as this one a short length delivery towards the chest of Quinton de Kock. He plays this behind square to the man at fine leg for a single. 155 for 3 now. Quinton de Kock on 93 off 100 balls, and Rassie van der Dussen now at the strikers end on 32 off 38.
Just the way Quinton de Kock has gone about this in his triple. He took full responsibility as the senior guy in the top order. Got through that new ball, saw wickets fall around him. Also, and he sits on 93 at the moment.
Good length delivery here from Krishna on the off stump of Rassie van der Dussen. Just darts it down towards the man at backward point for a single.
Yeah, also just look at the field for Krishna bowling to Rassie van der Dussen. We have a ring field on the offside, 4 men in the ring, and we also have mid-on as well, so 5 men in total in the ring. Big vacant spaces on the leg side, so that's an easy single, so his line will definitely be outside off stump.
Especially square and behind square of the wickets. There is coverage there. This one, as you said, outside off stump. Rassie van der Dussen drives this through cover and point, but there's a man sweeping there in the deep, so he just gets a single. 156 for 3. And we have a comment here from Yuan Liversage, just saying that the no singing was a joke, but rather stick to your day job, and we take that. We appreciate that. As the last delivery, James, please calm down. The last delivery was a no ball, so there's a free hit here. As we hear the trumpets in the background.
I think if you are 93, Teko, and you get a free, that's almost like the perfect scenario. If you're in the nervous 90s, you can have a free swing.
Literally.
And de Kock is definitely going to look to take this downtown, let's say.
He'll take this anyway. As long as it's over the boundary, Quinton de Kock will be happy. A free run, a free hit, and it's for the man that has been holding his bat, Quinton de Kock on 93. Krishna comes over the wicket to the left hand. That's a back of a length delivery and a sent way back over the bowler's head. 6 runs with a cross bat slap. Oh, beautiful.
and that sees Quinton de Kock go to 99. So like I said, Chepo, that a free hit can, that nervous 90s can disappear easily with a free hit, and now it's just one away from what would be a brilliant century.
Yes, and the Indians really need to arrest these extras. A free hit is not what you want in these middle overs. They were starting to build the pressure from time to time, but South Africa in control here. Quinton de Kock on 99. Ooh, just beating the outside edge with the back of a length delivery. Okay, Krishna. Okay, my man, that was quite the delivery.
It seems like Quinton de Kock was just looking for that old white ball shot, that dab to third man, just to get to the 3-figure mark. Not quite there for the shot, and it beat him.
Definitely did beat him. They are trying to go for an easy single as he now the man that was at mid wicket coming into that region here at short third man. Actually, even shorter. He looks like a backward point just behind square. So there's a point of backward point, man at cover, man at mid off, sweeping on the offside. Just in front of square, and also a man at long on. So offside, very much covered here. And this delivery just outside off stump, played off the back foot on the up by Quinton de Kock. And Virat Kohli does the fielding at points. And on the leg side, Chahal at mid on. There's a man at square leg, so big gap in between the two of them. And then also a man at fine leg.
They definitely closed that gap for that dab to third man. I think Kel Rahul, as a batsman himself, knows if a batsman's on 99, but that's the go-to shot.
Easy runs.
They're just trying to keep Quinton on strike and keep the pressure on. As we know, 99 is a big number.
This one on the offside, beautiful missed time drive on the up. It was a full length delivery, a little bit of a half volley, and the man at cover picks it up. So no run there, no century for Quinton de Kock in this over. 163 for 3 now after 29 overs. Double digits or double trouble for Quinton de Kock, 99. Van der Dussen, 33. And as you heard, South Africa 163.
I think the first thing for South Africa and for the two batteries is once Quinton de Kock gets his century, I genuinely think that he's going to go hard after he gets his milestone.
Agreed.
Because that would be the 30 over mark. And like we said, Chepo, that's generally, as we used to say in 50 over cricket, when you double the score. And with South Africa on 163 for 3, we can expect something over the 300 mark, definitely.
Indeed, with the wickets in hand, especially, you'd feel that South Africa will probably accelerate the run rate. This one, a full-length delivery, driven off the pads by Rassie van der Dussen through the onside, all the way to the cow corner boundary. So immediately, Chahal comes into the attack. First ball of the over, driven down the ground for a boundary. So pressure put on the Indian bowler here. 167 for 3. What a shot. Wow.
That was a brilliant shot from Rassie van der Dussen. And that was against the turn, Chepo. He actually made it into a half volley, and just whipped it in the gap between mid on and deep mid wicket.
Chahal coming over the wicket once again. The flight's delivery on the pads, just tickled around the pads. Rassie van der Dussen, the man at short, fine leg, does the fielding. A single there takes South Africa to 168 for 3. And Quinton de Kock now on strike. The fielders all coming in from the boundary on the offside. He has a third man, a short third man, a short point, or a man at conventional point, cover, long off. He also has a mid-wicket, a man at square leg, a conventional square leg, also a deep square leg, a fine leg, and a man at long on for the spinner. This one outside the off stump, played around the pads, Quinton de Kock, and he will get himself to a century. It may be leg buys, actually, as the crowd are up. Yes, it's leg buys. So the scoreboard, a little bit premature there. It did come off the pads, and the crowd will have to say they're clapping a little bit premature.
That was an anticlimax.
Literally.
Some of the sweet holders were on their feet, clapping for the century, but it will come.
This one, back of a length delivery, played off the back foot by Rassie van der Dussen, as we will see a commentary change after this over. Myself and Najri will vacate the seats as James and Tim will come into the commentary box. This one, a drag down delivery driven through the offside by Rassie van der Dussen to bring Quinton de Kock on strike. That brings up the 100 partnership, so they can actually get their clapping, as we say, goodbye to Najri, get everybody clapping there. And we'll say hello to Tim. That partnership 100 runs off 108 balls. That coming in 73 minutes, so relatively quickly. 8 fours and 2 sixes, and Quinton de Kock now on strike. Hopefully, for me, could get his century just before I leave. That would be nice. Quinton, do your boy a favor.
Certainly been an outstanding innings from Quinton de Kock, and changed things for South Africa.
This one, a flight delivery on the pads of Quinton de Kock. It was airborne down the leg side for no run there. So, no, it won't happen in my commentary stints. South Africa 170 for 3.
And Quinton de Kock is ever closer to what would be his 17th ODI 100 and 6th versus India. I'm sure he'll want to get to that milestone as quickly as possible as we take a drinks break. And South Africa are in cruise control. I said earlier that we might see a slightly lower score on this pitch, being that there was a bit of movement earlier on. South Africa are deciding that may well be not the case, as they are 173 at the 50 over mark, and you often double up at the 50 over mark. So South Africa will want to get 300 plus at the moment, and just as long as they do have wickets in hand.
Indeed, Tim, very good to be here with you. And we are broadcasting here live from 6 Gun Grill Newlands as the players are taking a drink on what is yet another warm day here in the Western Cape. Not as hot as it was in Paarl on Friday, where we were at Eurolux at Newlands Park for that second and winning one-day international for South Africa, who have already taken the series. But we are here in the shadow of Table Mountain, broadcasting to you from the Kelvin Grove end at 6 Gun Grill Newlands, the third Betway ODI. And just the story of the day's play so far, India winning the toss and deciding to bowl first on a pitch which did have something for the faster bowlers right up front. A few changes to both teams, with 4 changes in the Indian side. Surya Kumar Yadav, Jayant Yadav, Deepak Chahar and Prashid Krishna coming in for Venkatesh Iyer, Shalvu Thakur, Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Ravi Ashwin respectively. And for South Africa, Wayne Pretorius in for Tabraiz Shamsi. Just a break for Shamsi in this particular match. And South Africa asked to bat, got off to a bad start initially with the loss of Yanuman Malan, caught behind off the bowling of Chahar, who was quite impressive in his opening spell, getting some movement, as in almost identical fashion to his first ODI dismissal. Yanuman Malan caught behind by punt for 1, score 8. Temba Bavuma was the second to go, score on 34. He had scored 8 when he took a quick run to the man at mid-on, who was the captain, KL Rahul, who hit the stumps directly with the throw and caught Temba Bavuma just short of his ground. We were all surprised. It looked like he was home, but just almost slowing down, changing direction as he got to the bowler's end, didn't put the dive in, and as a result, just a run out. Score then 34 for 2, and then Aidan Markram with a fall into the 3-card trick from Deepak Chahar, short outside the off stump, played it up into the air, false stroke out to the man on the deep mid-wicket boundary. The substitute fielder Gaikwad coming in for the catch, and Aidan Markram 15 of 14. He was looking really good after his 37 not out in the match at Paarl. Had to go for 15. South Africa at that stage 70 for a loss of 3 after 12.2 overs. There have now been 30 overs, so in the last 17.4 overs, the pair of Fanadison and de Kock have managed to put 100 runs exactly on the board. South Africa 170 for 3 after 30 overs. It is going to be Rassie Fanadison who's going to be facing Shreyas Iyer, who will be bowling from the Wynberg end. Quinton de Kock is on 99, and he stands on the threshold of what will be his 17th one-day international 100. The South African premier batter. We will describe that hopefully to you as it is Aya in to Van der Dussen, and this goes through the hands of Rahul at mid-wicket. They take the single, and that will bring de Kock onto strike, and we are hoping that we are going to be able to describe this 100 for him, for South Africa. South Africa's white ball champion. His innings at Paarl giving him the man of the match award, and that was well deserved. He certainly changed the course of the match in that second knock. Highest ever chase at Boland Park by the South African team on Friday, anchored by this great innings from Quinton de Kock. He provided the impetus early on. This one is played straight back to Aya. There is no run. So for de Kock, we have two men short inside the circle on the offside, man the deep cover area, and he's into him again, plays it through the cover region, strokes it beautifully out to what looks like a deep extra cover region. He's going to go through for two. He's going to get his 100, and that is 101 for Quinton de Kock. Take a bow, young man. He puts his bat up to the dressing room, to the crowd here that is in at Newlands. The suites here are full for this particular match. And there's 101 of 108 balls, 9 fours and 2 sixes in the 31st over. He takes South Africa on to 173 for 3. That is his 17th one-day international 100. In this innings, he's gone past Faf du Plessis' run tally for South Africa. He is now the 9th highest batter for South African one-day internationals. He is the man of the moment, and he strides forward to the next delivery, plays it out to extra cover. Great innings, Tim. We'll chat a bit more about it at the end of this over. Plays this ball out into the man on the deep cover boundary, trots through for the single, and takes the score to 174 for 3 in the 31st over. One more ball for Van der Dussen to face. He's on 40. De Kock is on 102. This partnership 104. The run rate at the moment 5.6 runs to the over. There'll be one ball left in the Shreyas Iyer over. No Venkatesh Iyer today for India. He has been replaced by the batter Surya Yadav, and we've also seen some bowling from Krishna, the man in, as this is Van der Dussen forward to Iyer off the last ball of the over. There is no run added to the score, 174 for 3 of 31. Tim, another great innings from de Kock.
Said he looked rejuvenated the moment he came back into the South African side after retiring from Test cricket. He looked like a man determined to make a statement on his return, and boy, has he done that in spades in this series. Not only is that his 17th career Test 100, it is also his 6th against India, which is double what he has achieved against any other opponent. So he really does like playing against India. A magnificent innings and a magnificent series up to this point for Quinton de Kock.
So there is a change of bowling at the Kelvin Grove end. This is the end at which our commentary box is situated here at 6 Gun Grill Newlands. It's the end at which Bongani Jele, the umpire from South Africa, is standing, and is the end at which we are going to see Yadav bowling, as Giant Yadav away from us now, bowling his off spinners. It's flattish trajectory into Rassie Van der Dussen. Van der Dussen has got the man at the short third man, backward point, deep cover, extra cover, long off, long on, mid wicket, deep backward square, and a man shortish at 45 on the leg side. It's Yadav in again, Giant in to Rassie Van der Dussen, hangs his bat out outside the off-stump to a ball that probably didn't come into him as he might have expected, and there is no run. He misses it. Is no run. In fact, it went away from him. So that is very interesting. A bit of variation there from Giant. is in now. This is down the leg side, and it's missed by Van der Dussen. It's missed by a punt, and it is a wide as well, and that is something India cannot afford. Another 5 to the total for South Africa. They move on to 107, 180 now. So with the single and the 5 of that particular delivery. It's 31.2 overs bowled, the run rate 5.7, edging towards that 6 runs per over mark. It is Yadav again. This is beautifully played down the ground, straighter than the man is situated at long off. He goes down to the boundary for 4. What a glorious shot once again by Quinton de Kock. That is just the man's in imperious form.
And that boundary takes Quinton de Kock past the late Hansie Cronje into 8th position on the one-day list for run scorers for South Africa.
Incredible stuff from QDK as he's forward once again to delivery outside the off stump, but only managed to play this one to the captain, Rahul. That's Virat Kohli in there. I think it is at the extra cover position. Kohli feels there is no run. Yadav again to the Kock. He again beats him outside the off stump. This ball is going away from the left-hander, which is understandable from the off spinner who's bowling the ball. It naturally will be going away from the left-hander. De Kock just hanging his bat out, missing it, and there is no run. Once again into De Kock, tries to flick it away into the leg side. ODI is able to flick it onto his pad, bobbles out to the offside. Virat Kohli comes in, walks in and picks it up. It's the end of the over. Is it the end of the over? Yeah, it is the end of the over. 32 gone, 183 for 3. South Africa, 106 to De Kock, 40 to Van der Dussen. It's 5.7 runs to the over at which South Africa are batting. And there are a couple of comments coming in. We'll take a few of those now. But Tim.
Just on that, I've noticed the Champagne's keeping in this series. As good as he was with the bat the last game, and he managed to get his highest score in one-day cricket, his keeping has let him down. He missed the stumping of Quinton de Kock in the last game. Missing a lot of deliveries that are going through him. Balls are bouncing just in front of slip fielders throughout the series, and slip fielders take their starts from where the keeper stands. So as good as he's been with the bat, Rishabh Pant in the series, his keeping has generally let him down, and it's actually costing India far more than he's producing with the bat.
So indeed, single there to Rassie van der Dussen as he just played that ball from outside the off stump on the sweep down to the man at long left. And this is short and wide from Iyer, and Van der Dussen wants 2. De Kock does definitely not, and he sends his partner back as he played that one over the man at a extra cover down to the extra cover boundary, but there was a man sweeping behind from long off. There is only the single, 185 for 3. It's going to be Iyer who's going to be bowling to Van der Dussen. There is a man, long leg, deep mid-wicket, long on, long off, extra cover, deep cover, and a man shortish at 45. But he's not going to need any of those fielders as this is played into the second tier of the members' stand at the Weinberg end. A full toss. Rassie van der Dussen says, "Thank you very much, Mr. Iyer," and it goes for the maximum.
Magnificent shot from Rassie van der Dussen. When Rassie van der Dussen does go into his gears, he is quite something to watch from a neutral perspective. He is an amazing batsman. Quite often he starts slowly, although he hasn't in this particular game, but he does have that effect. When he gets going, he is quite something to watch. That was a beautiful on drive by Rassie van der Dussen. Yes, a full toss, but you've still got to dispatch the bad delivery.
47 not out. It's a bit of a break, so we're going to read some of your tweets coming through. Thank you very much for them. coming through on @OneWorldSR. And thank you to Otto Simon saying that if you double the score after 30 overs, Protea Fire will set India 340 to chase. Yes, indeed, that does look, if these two are together, that may be a possibility. But anything can happen. That will be a really big total in a day game here at Newlands, as it's Iyer again to Van der Dussen outside the off-stump play to man and the deep cover boundary, and they take a single as the ball is played very forcefully again by Van der Dussen. He goes to 48 on the back of a 37 not out in the previous game and a 129 not out in the first game of the ODI series. It's wide outside the off-stump and to the left-handed de Kock. He has a full go at it. He does get the outside edge as he's trying to play it over cover for 6. But it goes over the man at backward point, and they are able to take 2 in the process of on his way back down the square. He loses his bat halfway through the second run. Just drops on the ground. He is going for his shots, is Quinton de Kock. 109 not out. Van der Dussen 48. Partnership 124. 194 for 3. Just dabs this down beautifully in front of him and goes through for the single, does de Kock. Good game management and understanding as he goes through for 1. It is the end of the 33rd over. 195 for 3. South Africa, de Kock onto 110. Van der Dussen on 48. The partnership is 125. Tim, looking good for South Africa.
Looking very good for South Africa. Once again, as I have been for large parts of this series, in cruise control, taking advantage of wayward bowling from India, and they are putting the pressure on and keeping it on India and not let them have any respite whatsoever.
No respite whatsoever as continuation of this no respite as Quinton de Kock plays this shortish delivery from Jayant Yadav down to the backward square leg boundary where there's some excellent fielding done in the deep to prevent a certain man there in the deep diving off to his left-hand side. Can't see exactly who that is down there, but well fielded by the Indian fielder in the deep. And we'll have the changeover of field now as it's Van der Dussen on strike after that single 196 for 3. Run rate closest to that 6 runs and over 5.9. Reverse sweep attempted by Van der Dussen, and he does not manage to get hold of it. He wanted to just paddle that fine down to the area behind the wicketkeeper. It looks as if Rishabh Pant might have just dropped a catch there. We're just looking at that again to see if Van der Dussen did get something on it. Yes, it looks like glove onto the thigh of Pant. He tried to then dab the ball in and hold it between his elbows and his gloves. He didn't manage to do that, spilling that one again. This is on the pads, a faster one from Yadav, and there is no run.
Pant is having an absolute horror show behind the stumps. He's going to have to score big again in India's innings. He's going to have to make up chances he's given.
Giant again to Van der Dussen. This time he does get it right to play that reverse sweep. It's down to the man deep on the backward point boundary who manages to come around and field well yet again. Not as fine perhaps as he would have wanted to get that shot, but he still gets through for the single. He's on 49. De Kock is on 111. All South African supporters have got their feet off the ground, as Elmo Zai said to us on StreamYard. What a masterclass from the great QDK. So it's on YouTube. And indeed, it has been a masterclass in batting from the left-hander. This one, he dabs into the offside. He can't get it past the man at backward point. And there is no run. 197 for 3. We're in the 34th over. South African run rate hovering around 5.9, 5.8 and over. Quinton de Kock going for an outrageous backward reverse sweep or reverse pull from outside his leg stump. I'm not quite sure what that was from him. He premeditated the shot. The ball was way too far down the leg side. Did not manage to get anything much on it He gets away with it, and he does not take a run. 197 for 3 after 34 overs.
He basically got into a right-handed position and tried to play the first hit and got himself in an almighty tangle. And fortunately for him, the consistent bounce of Newlands was good for his part. It hit him high above on the knee well. If he was keeping low, he might have found himself in a bit of bother in terms of LW. But yeah, when he's in the purple patch now, he's willing to take the risks.
Yeah.
He's put South Africa in a wonderful position and realizes they still have 7 wickets in hand, so certain risks are worth taking.
And there is a change of bowling from the Weinberg end here at 6-gun Grill Newlands. It is going to be Deepak Chahar coming on for his second spell, his first spell, 7 overs, 2 for 38. He's back in again from the Weinberg end. Bowled to Rassie van der Dussen on 49. He's away past umpire Maria Erasmus and just stops in his run through. That's a signal dead ball. Looks as if we're trying to man-cat the non-striker who is Quinton de Kock. De Kock actually just seemed to be resting on his bat there rather than actually backing up. Not quite sure. But that was a planned move from Chahar. He's in once again to Van der Dussen. Just paddles this one from outside the off stump down to the man sweeping on the deep square leg boundary. And they take the single. Van der Dussen goes to yet another one-day international 50. That is going to be his 10th one-day international 50. He scored off 53 balls, 4 fours, 1 mighty 6. Very good run rate from him. And these two have taken their partnership now to 128. South Africa just too shy of the 200 mark, 3 wickets down. It is Van der Dussen 50, de Kock on 111, who is on strike. And there's been some outrageously interesting shots played from Quinton de Kock more recently. Let's see what he can do to get off that Nelson. This one is a wide delivery let go by Deepak Chahar, trying to bowl a slower ball bouncer, and both umpire Jele at square leg and umpire Erasmus signaling that is a wide. South Africa moved to 199 for the loss of 3, bounced a couple of times before it got through to Rishabh Pant. Everybody's trying something here. Tim?
India have to try something. They can't let the games away. Otherwise, they're going to have a massive total to chase.
Quinton de Kock plays this beautifully down on the leg side. He goes to the off and plays it down to the leg side, finer than the man who is there at a long leg. Brings up South Africa's 200, takes his score to 115. South Africa 203 off 215 balls, 19 fours, 3 mighty 6s, the one of which went into the second tier of the members' stand. Rassie van der Dussen here, hitting it into the Weinberg end for 6. And it is 203 for 3, 115 to de Kock, 50 to Van der Dussen, 133 the partnership. It's Chahar again to Quinton de Kock. This is short into the body of de Kock. He dispatches it wide of the man at deep backward square for yet another boundary. And that takes the score to 207 for 3. That was contemptuous, and it's a no ball from Deepak Chahar. So not only has he conceded 4 runs off that delivery, he also has given Quinton de Kock a free hit.
Quinton de Kock is enjoying himself now. He knows he can hit the ball anywhere he wants at the moment. He's seeing the ball so well. It's very hot here in Newlands, and he's seeing it like a beach ball.
He is indeed seeing it like a beach ball, one of which there are many, I'm sure, on Camps Bay at today. It is such a beautiful day, but it is Chahar in for the ball, the extra ball, and he'll have to bowl that one again as he tries to keep it out of the reaches of Quinton de Kock. And in doing so, he bowls yet another wide and some more looked a bit like the Lamson Lambada there from umpire Maria Erasmus as he was signaling the free hit again, trying his calypso style we saw in Paarl the other day. He's normally unmoved, just a slight wave of the arm. I think nothing too flamboyant from him. It will be Deepak Chahar trying once again to de Kock. This is there for de Kock. It's outside on the line of the legs. He's going to play it to the man at the deep square leg area, coming around to deep mid wicket. That is Chahal. No, it isn't Chahal. Sorry, we'll pick up the fielder now. He does good work in the deep, but not before they're back for 2. Takes the score to 211 for 3. De Kock on 121, and Edison on 50. The partnership between these two is 141. Run rate just over 6 runs and over now for South Africa. India looking like they're a beaten team.
They're looking very tired. They're looking very withdrawn. They're looking as if they can't wait to get back on that plane home. But still plenty of cricket to be played. I want to get some pride back.
Once again into de Kock. This time he rides the bounce. Again, a shortish ball on the line of middle and leg, and just turns it around the corner to Jasprit Bumrah, who is in front of us here at a long leg, and they take the single. Still 2 balls to be bowled in this over from Chahar, and he has gone for 15, I think it is already, with 2 balls left to be bowled. It has been a nightmare over for the Indian seamer. Brought into the team to replace Bhuvneshwar Kumar, who had an equally nightmare over. His first one at Paarl went for 16. Good delivery this time from Chahar to Vanadisson. South African batter just gets up on his toes, defends into the offside. Virat Kohli comes in from extra cover and feels not even the great man can lift this Indian team, it seems, at the moment.
I think Chahar, you could see the talent is there. You saw that he bowled reasonably well early on this morning. But what he didn't do is he didn't bowl to his captain's plans. He was bowling both sides of the wicket, but he was getting movement. So there's talent there. It's just got to be more consistent.
As the last ball of the over is outside the off stump, short of a length, it's played to the man at the backward point position. That is Surya Kumar Yadav, and Rasif Vanadisson does not take a run. South Africa don't take a run. 212 for 3 after 35 overs. The run rate now is a 6.1 runs to the over. South Africa eyeing off the last 15 overs, potentially another 130 runs, 300, 200, 130, 130 runs maybe, 330, 340 on the cards, Tim, if these two stay together?
Yeah, the longer they stay together, the more that total becomes reality. Earlier on, when I was projecting what they were going to get at the 30 over mark, I thought 340 might be a bit much, even though you do double up. I just thought that there'd be wickets by the stage. One of these two would not be there. They'd be pushing to try and get that 8, 9, 10, 11 over. But longer these two are still there, the more 340, 350 becomes reality. Just on Russell Vanadisson, this is his 4th game for the Proteas at Newlands. He scored 166 runs, and he is yet to be out.
Wow, that is absolutely incredible stat there from Tim Dale-Lace. It really is a privilege to be bringing you this broadcast here from 6 Gun Grill Newlands, the 3rd Betway ODI, the last in the series, the last game that the Indian tourists will play here in South Africa on this tour. And Jasprit Bumrah is away from us here at the Kelvin Grove end into Quinton de Kock. That is a good delivery on the line of a middle and leg stump, angling into the left-hander from over the wicket. And that one has hurt Quinton de Kock, just got him, squared him up a little bit and went into the midriff. And he's just taking a bit of time to get his composure back. Indian captain KL Rahul has called on his premier fast bowler, Jasprit Bumrah, coming back for his 3rd spell. He's bowled 6 overs, 0 for 33. He's away from us now, over the wicket to de Kock, outside the off stump. De Kock plays it beautifully into the cover region, and he will call his partner through for 2, and they get through for 2 comfortably as the man from the deep cover boundary, that is Giant Yadav, comes around and fields. Score goes to 2-1-4 for 3 in the 36th over. 144 is the partnership. De Kock 124, Van der Dussen 50, and 6.1 runs per over. There are 14.4 overs to go in this innings. The Indians have used 6 bowlers so far. One of those 6, Jasprit Bumrah, away from us now to De Kock, defends a ball that is on the line of middle and middle and fourth stump line, outside off, and he just defends that ball back to the bowler. There is no run. 2-1-4 for 3 in the 36th over. Partnership 144. De Kock leading from the front yet again, as he did in Paarl on Friday when he took South Africa, anchored that innings together with a great innings from Yaneman Malan. It took South Africa. This is in the slot for him, but unfortunately for South Africa and for Quinton de Kock, not quite getting hold of it there, and he's hauled out to the man on the deep square leg boundary. That is the end of an outstanding Quinton de Kock innings. It has been a pleasure to behold, but he has played the ball, hasn't quite got on top of that one or underneath it enough, hasn't quite got enough of it, and Shikhar Dhawan out on the square leg boundary takes the catch. Quinton de Kock gone 124. He scored of 130 balls, 12 fours, 2 sixes. He's been there for the duration of the innings, just not quite middling that one and falling into that trap on the leg side. Good catch coming in by Shikhar Dhawan. Not a difficult catch, but Quinton de Kock is gone, and David Miller will be striding to the crease. Great innings once again from the South African opener.
Yeah, and that was also his highest score at Newlands in one-day cricket for the Proteas. It was certainly an absolute privilege to witness Quinton de Kock in full motion this afternoon. It really was a magnificent innings with a full array of shots, and they'll be disappointed that he was dismissed, but he's done the work for the Proteas. He's done the majority of what was asked of him. It's now up to the rest of the South African batters to get South Africa to a total of 300 plus. That should be very reachable as things start.
So David Miller coming to the crease in the 36th over. He will be facing Jasprit Bumrah, who is bowling here from the Kelvin Grove end of this ground. 6-gun grill Newlands, and he joins Rusty van der Dussen at the crease. And Rusty van der Dussen a well-played 50, but they didn't cross while that ball was in the air, so Wilby Miller will be facing Bumrah for his first delivery. He's away from us now towards Miller, into the pads of Miller. He plays it down to the man at a long leg, and it is a single to Miller to get off the mark with his first delivery, and South Africa moved to 2-1-5 for 4. Quinton de Kock just not quite getting hold of this off the bottom of the bat, slight top edge, and it goes up into the air, and quite an easy catch in the end for Shikhar Dhawan as he takes that. And some beautiful visuals we're seeing. Unfortunately, you can't see them, but to describe it to you, picture Shikhar Dhawan taking the catch with the Table Mountain range in the background. There are really not many other more beautiful places to watch cricket in the entire world, as it's Jasprit Bumrah to Van der Dussen. He plays this one forward and square, the shortest delivery. The man in the deep, Giant Yadav, does the fielding. There's a bit of a hop, skip, and a jump as he takes the ball on about the 4th bounce, but they do get through for the single. Van der Dussen to 51. Miller is 1. 36 overs gone, exactly 6 runs and over, 216 for 4 now of South Africa after that successful over from Jasprit Bumrah, and it was indeed needed for India. They were under the cosh there with Quinton de Kock almost batting at will. Almost made it look too easy.
It did look too easy at times for Cook. There were a few iffy moments early in his innings, but overall it was a masterclass of how to bat in one-day cricket. Just odd, Rusty, that single took Rusty to his highest score at Newlands. So not only has he not been out at Newlands yet, but he now has his highest score at this ground in one-day cricket.
So Rassie van der Dussen will want to continue with this innings. There is a change of bowling. It's going to be Yuzvendra Chahal. And just to read some comments and tweets through you on the YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Mushtaq Ahmed saying QDK has proved his point. I think he shouldn't have retired from Test cricket. Jared Epstein saying, thank you very much, Jared. Love listening to you guys. Great commentary. Thank you very much. And obviously, Tepo's comedy is top notch. We really love Tepo's comedy as well, as you may have gathered. And Chris Teebs saying that is definitely Quinny's favorite way to get out. And so, indeed, he does get out in that fashion a number of times, as Rassie van der Dussen plays this beautifully through the leg side to the man sweeping on the deep mid-wicket boundary, and they will take yet another single, as that's 217 for 4 in the 37th over. Not getting my tongue around some of these words today. It's 52 to Van der Dussen, 1 to Miller. The loss of Quinton de Kock in the previous over for South Africa. It is interestingly poised now for South Africa. Perfect time for Miller to come in, says Otto Simon. And please keep those tweets coming in as this is played very nicely off his pads by Miller to KL Rahul, who's in a mid-wicket full left-hander. We have a leg slip, man at long leg, deep backward square, mid-wicket, long on, mid-off, extra cover, deep cover, and a man at 45 at third man. This is off the pad of Miller, and unmoved again is umpire Maria Erasmus. Are they going to go upstairs for this? Again, it looked like it came maybe high off the pad. Difficult to tell. We're behind the bowler, behind the batter, should I say here. And India have gone for the review. Yuzvendra Chahal is trying to get his 99th wicket in ODI cricket. And is he going to be successful? We are not sure. Fielding review here of the second delivery of the 37th over. And we shall see if indeed they are going to be successful.
I'll just give you an update on, as I've been talking about, Rassie van der Dussen's numbers at Newlands.
That's way high.
Yeah, that looks, on the review, it looks a bit too high. Miller's numbers are not as impressive at Newlands. He's played 4 matches, 68 runs, at an average of 22. So he doesn't like Newlands as much as Rassie does.
And I think this is probably going to be given not out. It looks he's well down the wicket. Ball hits him above the roll. Is no edge. It does look as if it's going perhaps even down the leg side. Some significant movement from the spinner Chahal into the left-hander. Does hit him in line. Pitches outside the off stump, but I think that he's going to be missing the wickets. In fact, it's umpire's call, as there a little bit slight bit of dip on the ball, is going to, according to Hawkeye, just clip the top of the bail on the leg stump. So David Miller survives as that delivery is called to be not out. The umpire's call and the decision of the on-field umpire, Maria Erasmus, holds on as does India, to their particular review, and a little bit of a let-off perhaps there for Miller.
I think it's one of those ones where you would understand if you're given it.
Yes.
It's a 50-50 call. That's why the game will lose the review, and I think that's fair. It's very difficult either way to say definitively what would have happened.
Indeed, it is. This one is pushed into the offside by Van der Dussen to KL Rahul at extra cover. There is no run. So I certainly think I can understand why it was given not out, as it's Chahal in again. He sweeps. It's in the air. Is it going to be between the two fielders? Is he taking the catch? It looks as if he has taken the catch. What a brilliant catch taken by the man in the deep. That is running around top edge on that sweep from Rassie van der Dussen. South Africa have lost their second wicket in quick succession. What an incredible piece of fielding that is in the deep. We're trying to see now who that is. It's Shreyas Iyer who's taken the catch. Rassie van der Dussen is walking off. He's looking at the big screen to see exactly what happened there, but running around from deep mid-wicket. What a catch. Take a bow, Shreyas Iyer. Rassie van der Dussen has finally been dismissed at Newlands. He goes for 52 of 59 deliveries, 4 fours and 1 6, a double breakthrough for India within the space of a couple of overs. Chahal gets his 99th wicket after just having missed out earlier in the over, and it is Rassie van der Dussen who has to go. He top edged that one slightly, just didn't quite get the power, wanted to keep it along the ground, but some great catching in the deep as South Africa now stuttering a little bit in the pursuit of that 300 plus score. 36.5 overs gone as they lose their 5th wicket. That is Rassie van der Dussen. Good innings though from the middle order batter, Tim.
Yeah, solid innings. Rassie van der Dussen is a solid cricketer, and it was really, as I say, good innings from him. He'll be disappointed he didn't kick on, but it did take an outstanding catch to remove him. We've seen some iffy catching from both sides in the series, as well as some top quality catching that is of top quality standard. Had to cover a lot of ground there to try his eye. Got both hands to a diving full length forward, and it really was a special one. And in terms of catches, it deserved a wicket. Rassie van der Dussen hit it well, but not quite well enough.
And it was in the air, got a lot of air time, was up in the air for quite some time and managed to get around and underneath the ball did Iyer. What an outstanding catch it really was. And so it does give the chance for the middle order and lower order to make a contribution now for South Africa. It is Chahal in it to Miller yet again, and this time the left-hander plays it out to that man, Shreyas Iyer, who's moved into the mid-wicket position. He takes a single, and South Africa move on to 219 for 5 after 37 overs. A successful over for Chahal. He takes the wicket of Rassie van der Dussen for a well-played 52 earlier in sort of a couple of overs before the loss of Quinton de Kock for 124. The pair putting on 144 runs for the 4th wicket for South Africa, taking them from 70 for 3 to 214 for 4, now 219 for 5. So didn't quite get over it, did he? He wanted to play it down on the ground, just didn't quite roll the wrist before he hit the ball, and it really was a great catch.
Yeah, outstanding catch. I think it was one of those ones where, yeah, Rassie would be disappointed, but you know what? Catches like that, they deserve the wickets.
They do.
That kind of commitment, series done and dusted. They want to go home, but that kind of commitment and effort from the fielder deserves huge credit.
So Rassie van der Dussen, since his last dismissal against India, has faced 288 deliveries as he finally dismissed him after 288 balls. I've never been dismissed at Newlands before against India, as this ball is played into the offside by David Miller. He's joined by his left-handed compatriot Andile Peshwayo. The field for Miller is a man at 45 on the offside, as it is Jayant Yadav. In fact, Bumrah has been replaced by Yadav here, the off-spinner bowling, unsurprisingly, to the 2 left-handers. And this one on the line of middle and off stump, and there is no run played to mid-wicket. So a man at 45 on the offside, shortish, inside the circle. They do have a slip to Miller. He pushes this out into the offside, fielded by Iyer, who is at extra cover. There is a single. It's going to be Andile Peshwayo to face for the first time as South Africa moved to 220 for 5 with 12.3 overs to go. Run rate just falling below 6 the over, 5.9. So we've got a man at 45 on the third man at 45 degrees on the edge of the circle, but a point, deep cover, extra cover, long off, mid on, deep backward square, and a man with a long leg boundary as Peshwaya comes forward to his first delivery, misses the ball outside the off-stump, ball spinning away from the conventional finger spinner for India, and just sort of hung his bat out outside the off-stump, lucky not to get the edge through to punt. That is why the slip is there. This giant Yadav again, this time it is played into the offside by Peshwaya down to the man at long off. That's Jasprit Bumrah, and they take the single, and Dilip Peshwaya is off the mark with that shot, 221 for 5 in the 38th over, and South Africa have progressed incredibly well in their innings so far, 221 for 5, as I say, 5.8 runs to the over, eyeing 300 plus, you would feel. South Africa giving the opportunity through those quick wickets, or getting the opportunity through those quick wickets now, as this for the lower order to bat. Tim's going to talk a bit more about that as it's the end of the over with the single through to Chahal down on the deep cover boundary. 2-2-2 for 5 after 38. The feet are up for South African supporters. Tim.
The top order have all got runs in the series. I think we can agree that we were a little bit surprised that there weren't more changes to the South African side, but this sort of situation is a good thing for South Africa. It allows them to see what their depth is like, what the individuals who have not batted in the series or batted very, very little, like Miller, who got 2 of 2 balls. It allows the lower order to have time at the crease, to get comfortable, to get runs behind them, because over the next 12 months or so, there are going to be situations when runs are going to be required from the lower order.
And the lower order or lower middle order, David Miller, who anchors that lower middle order for South Africa, has just played that first delivery from Yuzvendra Chahal down to the man at long leg. That is, I think that is Surya Kumar Yadav down there on the boundary. And yes, they take the single, and Peshwaya will face Chahal for the first time. South Africa 223 for 5 in the 39th over, approaching over 40, approaching the final power play and approaching a commentary change here in the One World Sports Radio commentary box. Join you for the last 10 overs. It is going to be Tepo Taela with Nathan Gogela, and we look forward to them bringing you the last 10 overs in the action in that period of play, as it's Chahal to Peshwaya, plays it down to mid-off, and it is a no run. So for Peshwaya, we have a slip, third man at 45 inside the circle. We have a deep cover, have a mid-off, long on, mid-wicket, deep mid-wicket, long leg or deep backward square on the boundary. And the man actually from the 45 on the leg side has just come around to extra cover. So it's a 5-4 offside leg side field for the wrist spinner for India, as he's into the left-handed Peshwaya, plays it into the gap on the offside, and cover, backward point will come around. That's Bumrah and Fields. They take the single, 2-2-4 for 5, South Africa. And just want to keep these two together for the next 6 or 7 overs at least. Get to middle of the 40 overs. Keep the scoreboard ticking along, Tim. 4, 5, 6 and over.
Yeah, that's the idea. We want to have a partnership. I know these guys have ability with the bat, both of them. But what particularly require to make runs. He did make runs earlier in the summer when we had the Netherlands here, and that tour when that unfortunately was called off after midway through the first ODI. But he did make runs at that game, so he has got recent runs behind him.
And Miller just playing the previous delivery out into the leg side for a single 2-2-5 for 5. In the 39th to Peshwaya, the field stays the same. There's a leg slip the man at long leg, deep back, deep square leg, almost between square leg and mid wicket, a long on, 5 on the leg side as Bhutwayo plays this to the man at mid wicket. There is no run, 225 for 5. Trying to apply a bit of pressure here, Yuzvendra Chahal. He is in his 7th over, 1 for 33. Jayant Yadav has already bowled 9 overs for 51. We'll take you through the bowling figures. We can shortly. It's just pushed out into the leg side. Ball was just a little bit too short to be threatening from Chahal. They take the single down to the man who came in from long leg, and there is the 1 run to the score, 226 for 5 after 39. And there will be a double change in the commentary box very shortly. In fact, at the end of this over, as I say, Tepo and Nate will be taking you through to the close of play in South Africa's innings, not the close of play of the entire match. And is Jayant Yadav, the right arm off spinner, who will be bowling from the Kelvin Grove end. That's our commentary box end, the end that is, we have umpire Bongani Jele, who is standing at this end for South Africa. South African umpire, his first game in this particular series as a standing umpire. Oh my goodness, that one just takes off outside the off stump and spins away from Andile Bhutwayo. They're looking for an appeal. The bowler is convinced that he's got his man, but nobody else is in the Indian team, so they're definitely not going to take the review.
I think it's one of those ones where it definitely deserves a wicket, but it didn't hit anything compromising from a batter's point of view.
Yeah.
It pitched and bounced and turned viciously.
Was a beauty. That's Yadav in again. This is a similar delivery, and the bowler gets across very, very well on his own bowling, dives in front of the non-striker Miller and manages to stop the single. Bhutwayo being held back here, not able to really get much going on the ball. Good bowling from Jayant Yadav from the Kelvin Grove end. 2 balls gone in the 40th over. He's into Bhutwayo, plays it down to the man in front of us here at long off, and they take the single this time, 227 for 5. South Africa looking at in or around 230 after 40 overs. You'd sense that 70 runs off the last 10 overs would be an absolute minimum for them, Tim, as you're going to be making way shortly for Nathan. This is off the leading edge of Miller's bat as he tries to play it into the leg side of the off spinner, and they is a single once again, 228 for 5. 2 balls left in the 40th over. As I say goodbye to Tim, it's hello to Nathan joining us for his second stint on commentary today. Really great to have you with us again, Nate.
Thanks, JK.
It's Yadav in 2. Bhutwayo defends back to the ball. It's been a very good over so far. Only the 2 off it. One senses Andile Bhutwayo just getting his eye in at the moment. Hasn't batted yet in the series. Some really good work with the ball in the 2 ODIs in Paarl. As it's Yadav for the last ball of the over, and he just defends this one back down the pitch to the bowler. There is no run, and I say goodbye for the moment. It's 228 for 5 after 40 overs.
Oh, there you have it from JK. Now changing commentary, and I'm joined by TT. TT, how are you?
I'm feeling lacquer. I won't lie, it's a little bit hotter as well. It's a heat wave here in the Cape has made things relatively difficult. Tough fielding out there, energy sapping heat, but the Indians have kept themselves in this game. Very vital wickets here in the middle overs, getting out the set batsmen, Quinton de Kock and Rassie van der Dussen.
Well, we've got Chahal.
Yes, it is. It is Chahal coming into the attack now.
From the Wamb again. On to Miller, to the left and Miller. It is the 41st over, 228 for 5 after 40 overs.
I thought you were going to say it's 41 degrees out here. It's so hot. as Charles comes in. It's a good length delivery outside off stump. Whipped off the pass by David Miller. Quick single there. Big appeal at the striker's end as Pedro Quayo dives to get himself in. Bongani Jele goes upstairs immediately. A risky single there for the South Africans. And they need to send that one upstairs.
Well, good fielding there by the man standing at mid wicket. The Indians look very convinced with this one. Bongani Jele, the umpire standing square leg. Taking it upstairs. Let's see what happens here.
I know that's the pressure that the Indian bowlers have been putting on the South African batters here. You can see a similar way that Themba Bavuma went out, a forced single, trying to get that scoring rate up, trying to rotate the strike as often as possible just to get those cheeky singles. And Andile Petrukwayo in trouble here at the striker's end.
Let's see what the decision is. Still umpire TMO decision.
I would hope that they would show us what would happen, but it looks likely that Andile is just going to walk straight out. He's not even waiting for it, and he's given out. Another silly, senseless run out here for the South Africans, costing them a wicket, and this time it's Andile Petrukwayo who needs to go.
Yeah, first one was Themba. Themba only scoring
8 runs, yes.
8 runs. Now it's Petrukwayo only scoring 4 runs.
Andile, unlucky Petrukwayo, getting 4 runs off 11 balls. And you can see there that strike rate of 36, begging to score at a higher rate. And his form with the bat still continuing. He did do well against the Netherlands, but before that, he had been in trouble. And that brings Dwayne Pretorius to the crease. Another all-rounder here for South Africa.
Well, that's what brings Dwayne Pretorius his first stint in this ODI series against India. Let's see what he has in store for the South Africans here today. I don't think the South Africans will be in much pressure at the moment because you know the one day games on this pitch is just under 200 runs in the first innings.
Oh no, so they did get over the average here in the first innings, but not much on offer here for the bowling team. Normally there's a little bit more. They did well with the new ball, especially Chaha with the swing deliveries. You can see they were very, very difficult to face. South Africans took control, but there's still a little bit in it here for the bowlers. If they just stay disciplined and build the pressure with dot balls, they will get the wickets, and that's exactly what happened here. Still also a little bit of bounce here in the pitch. We saw some balls rearing up off a length here and really getting a whole lot of turn. So the Indians doing well here. The new batter, Pretorius, right-hander, has a slip in place. This one flighted outside the off stump and driven, but not with that much conviction. Back to the bowler, no run there. He has a slip. A man at backward points, deep point, cover, long off, mid on. A man at mid wickets and also sweeping on the leg side. A man at deep mid wickets and a long leg.
Well, Dwayne comes in for Tabraz Shamsi.
Ooh, a big appeal here as sharp movement here from Rishabh Pant behind the stumps, pitching outside off stump, beating Dwayne Pretorius' bat and stumping there. Another dot ball, just piling on the pressure here for South Africa.
Yeah, I think the Indians will take that for money. Just putting a lot of pressure towards the South African batsmen at the moment.
Pressure indeed. A flight delivery on the pads of Dwayne Pretorius. He slices at this as it goes to the legs, to the offside. Backward of square. It's fielded immediately. So another dot ball. 3 dot balls here and a wicket in this over. Tight bowling from Chahal from the Weinberg end. This one pitching outside off stump. A little bit of turn, finding the inside edge of Pretorius' driving bat. The man at mid wicket doing the fielding. Yet again, another dot ball heading to a maiden wicket now.
Well, the spinners obviously not a purchase on this pitch. I think Keshav Maharaj and even Aidan Markham as well obviously be salivating at the moment.
Flight delivery on the pads and Dwayne Pretorius gets down to this one, sweeping it behind square where fine leg does the fielding. Breaks what would have been a maiden over with that single. South Africa 229 for 6 after 41 overs. Miller is still in there. He's on 7 and Pretorius is on 1.
Lovely controlled sweep there by Pretorius. As we mentioned, was only 1 run in that over with the wicket as well. A lot of pressure towards the South Africans at the moment.
Yes, the game ebbing and flowing nicely here. And we're just looking at the run out of Petrukwayo. By the time he got his bat in. It was still lifted, and it wasn't in time. Shreyas Iyer is coming into the bowling attack. Only had the one ball in the second one-day international, so he's going to be coming here after bowling 2 overs.
Yeah, Shreyas Iyer, that's obviously his 25th match from the ODI for the Indian side.
He has himself
no wickets.
No wickets, but he has been keeping a tight right arm over the wickets to Dwayne Pretorius. Drives this down the ground to long on for a single. Good start here for the South African all-rounder on 2. Rotating the strike off the first ball in the over. David Miller, the left-hander, on strike now. He has a point, a cover, a man at short third man. Man sweeping a deep cover and long off on the onside mid-wickets. Deep square leg and also a long on. And this one spanked through the offside, right through the cover region on the back foot. Gets himself a boundary to release the pressure here on the South African side. 234 for 6 now after that beautiful boundary.
Yeah, that's pierced that deep cover region, that vacant deep cover region. The ball pitching just outside off. Good shot by David Miller.
Indeed, Shreyas Iyer coming around the wickets, a left-hander, pitching outside off stump, driven square of the wickets, where Point does the fielding. No run there.
Another no run for the Indians. Pause.
Very good. Dots are gold here. This one, a good length delivery, pitching in line with middle stump. So Shreyas Iyer doing a little bit better just to rein in after that boundary, that not half volley, that drag down delivery outside off stump. Coming in again. This one, a flighted delivery, very full. And David Miller just blocks. Doesn't want to do anything silly here. Good tight bowling here from Shreyas Iyer, doing the job for his captain. Last ball of the over coming up. He gets to his mark quickly around the wickets to David Miller. Flighted on leg stump and just blocked for no run. So just 5 off that over. South Africa 234 for 6 after 42 overs. Miller on 11, Pretorius on 2, partnership on 6 now. Ravi, the heavy roller, saying top 5 did the job rather. And now the remainder to come to the party, saying that it's an opportunity here for the lower order batters of South Africa to get something on the board. We heard James and Tim talking about how they will have to do it at some point. So this is a good opportunity for them to sort of test how long this batting lineup really is.
Yeah, they've got a decent long batting lineup. We've got 3 all-rounders, or 4 if you consider Keshav Maharaj as an all-rounder.
This one, a back of a length delivery from Chahal. Dragged down a little bit, and Dwayne Pretorius just slices this to the offside. There's a man sweeping there, so it's just a single. 235 for 6.
Yeah, another deep outside off pitch, deep outside off. A man standing at deep cover region, fielding that one for single. David Miller on strike.
David Miller on strike indeed, and he'll want to take this opportunity that he's got in the middle. A good length delivery, driven back or driven in front of square to the man at mid-wicket, no run. There's a man at mid-wickets, long on, deep mid-wickets, deep backward square leg, and a man at fine leg in the ring. Third man also in the ring, and also a cover and a long off. And this one sent to the stands at the car corner boundary, literally into the upper echelons of the stands. David Miller bringing on Miller time. Now look at your watches, folks, because it's Miller time.
Another scintillating stroke by Miller. We know how strong Miller is on the next side. Another 6 by Miller.
Shoo! This one getting to the pitch of the ball. Great footwork to get that in the arc and out the park. As you can see on the board, or as I can see on the board, Miller time is here. Perfect shot, the board says once again. And once again, opportunity for David Miller to really start to hit his straps here. He's got enough time to set himself. He has enough time in the middle. And now he can strike and just see South Africa to that 300 that they'll be hoping to get. Chahal coming in again. Flight delivery outside off stump. Dots this down. Takes a quick single. Or at least Pretorius got to the strikers end very quickly. David Miller was second guessing himself. You think he still wanted a little bit of the strike?
Yeah, I think Pretorius obviously called that one because obviously he was backward of square. But good running indeed by the Proteas. We know how strong Miller is were running as well. It's quite quick.
He is quick between the wickets. Pretorius has a slip here. Virat Kohli for the right-hander. This one dragged down and just dragged to the onside. Dwayne Pretorius just punch or powering this all the way to the car corner boundary down the ground. So he's also keen to get some runs on the board here. 2 boundaries in this over, already 11 off it.
Yeah, we saw that Dwayne Pretorius had so much time. We played it off the back foot down to deep wicket region 4-4.
He just hoiked this down the ground and also placed it very nicely. The man that was in that deep mid-wicket region couldn't get to it in time. Just pure power. A big appeal here from the Indians as this pitch is outside off and seems to have wrapped Dwayne Pretorius on the pads. There's a conversation here with the skipper, with Virat Kohli, with Chahal. Everyone's in the middle, but it doesn't look like it's going to go upstairs.
Yeah, Carroll wasn't convinced there. It was only the bowler. You know, the bowlers are always very convinced of the wicket. Obviously, that one going towards the Proteas way. And as you can see, with the Proteas are bringing a lot of Protea fire at the moment.
Hey, bro, to match the heat that we're feeling here, it's getting hot in here at 6 Gun Grill Newlands. South Africa 246 for 6 after 43 overs. Indians have also come to the party, taking some valuable wickets in the middle overs. So we are going to be treated to some exciting cricket here at the back end of the innings as we see Rashid Krishna come into the attack here. Don't forget, you can tweet us at OneWorldSR and also comment on YouTube. We have Linux Layer, a regular tweeter here. We love hearing from you, Linux. She says, I can't believe you resisted the temptation to scream too short, and he absolutely millered that one away for 6. You'll never be real dads. It's still early days. It's still 26 years old. I still have time for my dad jokes. David Miller is on strike. A full-length delivery whipped off the pads by the left-hand bat all the way to fine leg for a single. 247 now for 6.
That's Prasid Krishna's 4th match. He has the best bowling innings figure of 454.
Indeed, they're still very new to the international scene. Has quite a few T20s and List A games under his belt, and you'd feel that he's been brought into the attack because of his height. He's a relatively tall bowler, can extract a lot of bounce here on what's been quite a bouncy pitch. As this one outside off stump, a very good delivery, a good length delivery that Dwayne Pretorius throws his hands up, misses it, all ends up into the hands of Rishabh Pant. He has the right-hand batter, a third man, a man at deep points, man at conventional points, cover, mid-off, mid-wicket. It's probably a man at long on, yes, just behind the side screen, deep, square leg, and also a man at fine leg.
Yeah, we saw Prasid Krishna troubling Russell Grissom early on with the short balls.
And there is that short ball, very short and given as a wide by Murray Erasmus in the square leg umpire region. So another extra here, 13 wides we've seen today.
That's quite 13 wides. Could prove costly later on. I mean, those extras isn't something that the Indians will be looking forward to at the moment because they still need to come back in the second innings.
Indeed, they will. And the likes of Marco Jansen isn't in the attack, so I can't expect too much bounce. Lungi Ngidi can extract a lot of bounce from the wickets. As this one, a good length delivery. Dwayne Pretorius got on top of it as it pitched all in line with middle stump. It was just blocked for no run there. And James just saying that David Miller with that 6 literally almost hit it into the brewery behind the stands. If it was just a few meters further, it could have actually gone there. It was quite a big 6, that one.
JK with these jokes. Krishna is bowling on the Calvin Grove end.
Yeah, coming over the wickets to the right-handed Dwayne Pretorius, a full Yorker length delivery just outside off stump. He just guides this down to the third man boundary. A very classy shot, a deft touch from Dwayne Pretorius. And that's another boundary for the all-rounder. 252 now for 6 for South Africa. So the 250 is up.
Well, that's the 24 runs partnership with these 2 gentlemen. As you mentioned, 250 up for the South Africans of the year. They'll be looking to, I mean, Timber even early on even said they'll be looking to maybe perhaps get it 300 here. Maybe could we perhaps see the Proteas reaching 300?
look, you'd hope that they'd reach 300, especially at the 30 over mark being 163. I think it was for 3 at the time. This one outside off stump. It's a half volley driven immensely, but not through the cover, straight to Virat Kohli standing at cover. He passes it to his captain, KL Rahul. And I must say the conversations between the two of them have been a little bit better in this game. I've been consulting Virat Kohli for reviews as KL Rahul, and conversations being had in the media box about the transition of captaincy here. Good to see that it's not a cold shoulder from the former Indian captain. A very good delivery from Krishna. Good length on top of off stump and just guided all the way to third man. A late cut from Dwayne Pretorius to take South Africa to 253 for 6 after 44 overs. And you're talking about that 300 score, and who you'd want in the middle, David Miller, is there. So it is potentially possible.
Yeah, Dwayne Pretorius and David Miller, they're looking pretty solid here at the moment. Dwayne Pretorius on 12 runs for 14 balls, and David Miller with 19 runs at 21. They're looking promising. As I mentioned, do you think they might reach that 300 mark?
Look, I don't consider myself a betting man. I don't like to make predictions. I just like to sit and watch the cricket, mates. See what happens, see how it ebbs and flows. Because for me, hey, twists in the tails make it even more enjoyable as we see a bowling change here from the Wynberg end. Jasprit Bumrah coming into the attack, and that is going to be very exciting here for India. As the premier pace bowler here has gotten a wicket already in his 7 overs, just 37 runs conceded. So has been the pick of the bowlers, has been doing well to get wickets. And if it's good for the top order, it's good for the tail.
Yeah, we know Jasprit Bumrah, especially in the IPL, obviously comes in late in the overs as well. We know he's a good death bowler for the Indian side and for the Mumbai Indians.
Indeed, he is coming over the wicket to Dwayne Pretorius. It's short and it's played behind square in the air for quite some time. It bounced once before it got to the man at long leg. Dwayne Pretorius gets a single here, gets David Miller on strike.
A lovely control shot there by Dwayne Pretorius, lovely hook shot by Dwayne Pretorius down to the long on region. The square fine leg region.
Indeed. More importantly, getting the batter, on strike here, David Miller against Jasprit Bumrah. He has a long on, a man at mid wickets, also a man at deep square leg and fine leg on the leg side. A back of a length delivery. On the offside, David Miller just guides this down to the man at third man for a quick single.
Another short delivery by Jasprit Bumrah coming in from the Wynberg end, guided down to third man.
255 for 6 after 44.2 overs. And
apparently, the Wynberg end was named after Wynberg Boys High School, school that I went to, and Alice went to as well. I had to mention it there, you know.
Yes, Nate, what you're forgetting to mention is that it's literally in the Wynberg suburbs. It could be named after the suburbs.
It's definitely named after the school.
A good length delivery from Jasprit Bumrah outside off stump. Just guided to the man at backward point for a single at Wynberg. Is it Wynberg Boys High School? Is it? Yes, it's one of the well-known high schools here in the Western Cape, I believe. Jock Cullis, Carl Verena as well. As well from that school.
Carl Verena now is obviously in the ODI spot for the Proteas.
Back of a length delivery ramped by Dwayne Pretorius on the offside. Chahal wasn't interested in getting there for the catch. It did bounce safely and he gets a single now. 256 now for 6. And just like the boys' schools here, to find every opportunity they can just to give a young shout out to their school. Well done, Nate. I'll give it to you.
Thanks, mate. But it looks like the batsmen have so much time in their hands, especially when they're going up against the seam bowlers here at the moment.
I don't want to do too much here against Jasprit Bumrah, especially with the bounce that we're seeing on the pitch here. Oh, a fantastic delivery from Jasprit Bumrah, squaring up David Miller, literally going through the gate on top of middle stump. There's an appeal for an edge, and the DRS timer is going down. Rishabh Pant sitting there like he's being painted like one of your French girls, sitting down there very seductively, some would say. They have gone upstairs, have India, expecting an inside edge here from David Miller, but no matter what, you have to say that was a beautiful ball from Jasprit Bumrah.
Yeah, beautiful ball indeed. I mean, I think I spoke to you earlier when I mentioned the previous ball that that's so much time. But obviously that beat David Miller and all money. David Miller obviously couldn't see that clearly. A nice shortish delivery there by Jasprit Bumrah. We know how good it is in the death bowling for the Indian side.
We're just looking at Ultra Edge here. It has flat lined when it passed the bat. There is a sound, but it seems to have come off the elbow of David Miller, and then another sound as it looks like it hit his hip as well. So review lost there, and you must feel over number 45. That was quite a YOLO review, you know. You only live once. Give it a shot. You have nothing to lose and a wicket to gain.
Yeah, but they still have another review
Indeed.
as well. So, I mean, 5 overs, in hand for the Proteas and the Indians. We're still looking at it. We're still reviewing it. We haven't got an official decision from the umpire yet.
Yeah, the Indians are already all in their places, keen to get fielding again, as we see a comment here from Chris Teeve saying, Weinberg may have an end, but the old boys telling us that they went there will never end. Thank you for that one, Chris. Also, just checking the LBW appeal, but that was well over the stumps. I'm not really sure why we checked that, but we did anyway. Rather safe than sorry. So Marie Rasmus shows that review was unsuccessful. Only one left for India. 256 for 6 after 44.5 overs. A great over here from Jasprit Bumrah, doing exactly what he needs for the captain. A good length delivery outside off stump, driven down the ground to mid-off for a single. David Miller retains the striker. South Africa 257 now for 6 after 45 overs.
Well, that brings the partnership between these two gentlemen here on the pitch at 29 runs off 29 balls, 6 runs and over, run a ball.
Indeed, they will be wanting to go to run a ball. Just shy of a run a ball here at a rate of 5.7 and over.
Yeah, Krishna is back on again. He's getting a lot of purchase off the pitch. He's quite tall, so he's quite lanky. He gets that extra bounce. As I mentioned previously, he troubled Rassi van Dussen early on. And let's see what he does here with the Dwayne Pretorius, especially with the right-hander. But obviously now we see him coming over the Carlton Grove end to David Miller.
David Miller has himself third man, a point, a backward point, in fact. A cover, a man at deep point in front of square, long off, mid-wicket, a long on, and also a short, fine leg. Coming over the wicket is Krishna, a full-length delivery on the pads of Miller. He dots this down. Oh, there's also a man at a deep square leg that I forgot to mention that does the fielding there. Just a single, 258 for 6. Krishna will be happy with that, getting the recognized batter off strike.
A lovely leg lance by David Miller there, getting off strike. And now we have Dwayne Pretorius. I want to see how this matchup goes. And I'm assuming, or let me say, I'm guesstimating it might come in short for Dwayne Pretorius, just outside off. But let's see what happens here.
You know what? You could see that there is a man in the deep on the square leg boundary. So if it is short and he does go for it, oh, great call. Great call. It was a short delivery that Dwayne Pretorius ducks under. It's a dot ball, not given as a wide. But yes, there's a man at deep square leg. So if he does actually give offer a shot, it doesn't control it, it could go straight to hand.
As I mentioned, it was going to be short, but it was pitching just on the leg stump, short and leg stump. I'm surprised that the umpire actually gave it as a wide. I mean, it went well over his head.
Yeah, but he did also duck. So, we'll see. We'll see. Coming over the wickets now to the right-hander. A full-length delivery played off the pads by Dwayne Pretorius to mid-wicket for a single. 258 for 6.
Well, the South Africans are rotating strike nicely here, going just under a run a ball.
What's interesting about Dwayne Pretorius, just looking at his batting, his strike rate in one-day internationals isn't too much to write home about, 93.1, but in T20 internationals, it is 161.9. So he can really accelerate the run rate here, and he did score that at an average of 24 full length delivery, whipped off the pads by David Miller. It's going to the fine leg boundary, a little bit of a half body, and whipped off the pads very nicely by the left-handed batter.
Oh, wonderful shot by David Miller there. Beating that man standing at deep square leg.
Just coming around the wickets, did Krishna a little bit too straight and on the pads, and David Miller did well to get the gap on the leg side. There was a man at a short fine leg and a man at deep backward square leg. Did well to pierce that gap for boundary. Coming in again, it's a full toss, a wide full toss that David Miller drives square of the wicket. He'll be disappointed that he didn't get hold of that. A shake of the head from the Maritzburg boy, as that goes down to the man at deep backward points for 1 run.
Krishna, was a slow delivery there, just outside off, pulling around the wicket to David Miller. David Miller nicely guiding the ball towards a deep point area.
Dwayne Pretorius says long off as I come into a mid-off region. He has a cover, a point, a man at third man, and just sets himself up to to play across the line. But this delivery was short and unfortunately went down the leg side for Dwayne Pretorius. But because he set himself up, not given as a wide. After the 46th over, 264 for 6 now, South Africa.
Yeah, these two are going at the 36 runs for 35 balls. Going at that mark at 6 runs, the over mark. You'll sense that maybe they will try to go for that 300 mark. I mean, they've still got another 4 overs for 36 runs, maybe 9 runs per over from here.
They'll definitely be hoping to accelerate that run rate now, just sitting at 5.7. India 2 overs behind the required rate. So if they don't speed things up now, they're probably going to get a match fee fine, 20% of their match fees. It doesn't look like they're going to go with spinners here. So Jasprit Bumrah will continue from the Weinberg end.
Yeah, we know in the previous game, the team of Bhuvneshwar and the Proteas were fined 20% of their match fee because of that slow over rate in that second ODI, second Betway ODI against the Indian side down at Eurolux Holland Park.
Oh, indeed. David Miller just forgetting his gloves or deciding he wanted to change his pair of gloves in that stoppage.
I think maybe the message from Mark Boucher just to maybe ramp it up a bit with these two. They're looking nice and solid there in the middle.
He does have 4 overs left to do it, and Miller time has already begun. We saw a banging 6 that went over the car corner region, but Jasprit Bumrah coming into attack, a short length delivery that David Miller controls all the way to deep square leg for a single. So rotating the strike here, not quite dealing in boundaries, not quite throwing everything at this.
Yeah, foolish delivery there by Jasprit Bumrah, coming over the wicket in the one again.
And we see the field changes here for Dwayne Pretorius. There's a man at third man, backward point, deep point, cover, mid-off, mid-wicket. Man at the deep square leg boundary in front of square, and also a man at fine leg. Jasprit Bumrah comes over the wickets to Dwayne Pretorius. It's full and it's played over the bowler's head. No, not quite over the bowler's head. It was airborne for quite some time. The man at mid-wicket did the fielding. He didn't middle that, did Dwayne Pretorius. Quick shy at the stumps there from the man at mid-wicket at the non-striker's end, almost getting David Miller out, but he was safe in the end.
Oh, it was going to be the third run out, but David Miller was quick there to react.
That was close. He would have been safe. We're just seeing as Jasprit Bumrah seems to be adjusting the field a little bit more. Yes, the man at fine leg coming into the circle, the man at mid-wicket going all the way to the boundary, and the man at the boundary in front of square going now to a deep square leg. And over the wicket, it's full, and it's punished through the covers. It was on the up, and hits for 4 by Dwayne Pretorius. A beautiful shot there.
Yeah, that shot was hit on up by Dwayne Pretorius between that deep cover, not deep cover, extra cover, and that mid-on region for 4. Lovely shot there by Dwayne Pretorius.
But definitely showing that he has the strokes in the bank, and also the placement to boot. It was airborne, but it was very well placed between those two fielders, as you said, and it went straight to the boundary. There was no catching that. South Africa now 269 for 6. Bumrah coming in again after that half volley. This one shorter, and Dwayne Pretorius unable to get bat on ball.
That's one for the over, for the short pitch delivery for Jasprit Bumrah. Again, they're coming over the wicket, and the one again to Pretorius. Bit of a yawn there.
And I just need to make sure that I got a little bit of food in. Didn't get a big breakfast. My girlfriend will be saying, "I told you so. I thought I was a strong man." But here we are. The show must go on. As the man at third man comes into the circle. A full-length delivery. Actually, it's a Yorker on off stump. Well dug out by Pretorius as the man at cover does the fielding. They get a single there. 270 for 6. And don't forget, do tweet us in at One World SR. We love hearing from you, as we have a comment here on YouTube from Random Fanboy saying, large chance for Magala today. A little bit premature, but you do make a valid point. We do want to see Magala improve his one-day international performance. He does sort of start on the expensive side, but he did well to bring it back, did Sasanda Magala. David Miller's third or fine leg coming into the circle as the man at mid-wicket goes to the boundary. And there's also a man on the boundary at the square leg boundary. David Miller on 28 as Jasprit Bumrah comes from around the wicket to right-hander. It's a good length delivery, dotted down backward of square to the man at backward, point for a single. And that ends the 47th over. 271 now for 6, 29 runs away from that 300 South Africa will feel. And India will want to make sure that no more runs are scored.
Yeah, as TT mentioned, it was 271 for 6. That's 29 runs of 29 balls from Miller, and Dwayne Pretorius has 20 runs of 29 balls. The partnership here at the moment is 43 runs of 41 balls, just shy over that 6 runs mark. Looking a bit closer to that 300 mark that Jasprit Bumrah was wanting to have for the Proteas side here at the moment. And again, we have
Krishna, yes,
Krishna coming from the Calvin Grove end to David Miller.
So not coming into the attack, rather continuing his spell here, as you said, from the Calvin Grove end. And just looking at the partnerships here, this one 43 as Krishna comes around the wickets to David Miller. It's a full toss, whipped off the pads by David Miller. He's practicing a scoop shot that he would have felt would have been better to get a few more runs. He just gets a single here. South Africa 272 for 6. And talking about the partnerships, this partnership of 43, the second highest partnership here, as South Africa had a bit of a stutter to this innings. The big partnership between Quinton de Kock and Rassie van der Dussen at 144 being the highest one. So still doing well to get partnerships. And we'll be hoping that this one at the back end of the innings also just gives South Africa a little bit extra to defend. Over the wicket to the right-handed Pretorius Krishna. It's a Yorker length that just dies, and it's in the air for a long time. The man at cow corner gets under it, and that affects the catch. A very easy catch. Didn't quite middle that. Off the toe of the bat, Pretorius, and he has to go. Partnership broken, as I was talking about it. Jeepers creepers, commentators curse.
Commentators curse indeed. It was a full delivery, very slow. Obviously, Pretorius playing it just actually middle it, because obviously the ball is way too slow. The man coming from a deep mid wicket region, catching the ball towards that deep square, fourth deep square region.
Did very well there, did Krishna. The change of pace undoing Dwayne Pretorius as he goes back to the stands after scoring 20 runs of 25 balls. He had some lusty blows for his 3-4s as Keshav Maharaj comes to the crease now.
Oh, Keshav Maharaj comes to the crease. We know Keshav Maharaj can bat in that white ball format, but let's see what he does here, because they know at the moment they're in the front seat. They've scored just over that average mark for a one-day game in the first innings for the South Africans. But let's see what they do here. David Miller was going to be on strike.
Indeed, they
Rotated,
did.
yeah, they did rotate.
They did rotate the strike as that was in the air for quite some time. Keshav Maharaj, his 18 matches, 96 runs, an average of 16 and a best of 19 in one-day internationals. And Sabir Khan, welcome back, Sabir. Good to hear from you. Says one big over of 17 would be greater for the South Africans. That would be indeed. But for the Indians, you'd feel that they just want to continue this momentum, doing very well to take wickets at regular intervals to prevent South Africa from getting to that 300. And yes, they have gone the highest or above average here for the first innings at Newlands in a day game. But as Krishna comes around the wicket to David Miller, a short pitch delivery that David Miller gets on top of and guides to the man at back with square leg for a single. You do feel that this pitch didn't really have that much for the bowlers. There was a little bit of swing, a little bit of movement for the pace bowlers at the beginning of the innings. But other than some extra bounce, it looked very, very flat.
Flat indeed. Even for the spinners, I think there was a bit of purchase. We saw Chahal getting a bit of purchase, coming over the wicket towards the left-hand batsman, getting a bit of purchase. And as I mentioned previously, I think the spinners for the South Africans, Keshav Maharaj and even Eden Markham, will take a lot from that.
Krishna coming over the wicket. So right hand Maharaj, he gets an edge to a vacant slip region, and that goes all the way to the boundary for four. South Africa will take the boundaries how they come, as Keshav Maharaj just fended at this, and it beat punt for the boundary. 277 for 7.
Well, that ball pitched in the fourth stump region. It's short there, but Keshav Maharaj managed to get a thick outside edge, beating Rishabh Pant there. Not even close to Rishabh Pant. And I think the South Africa to take that for all money.
There's that bounce we're talking about. It's jumped off a good length. Keshav Maharaj looked like with his 45-degree angle bats, he wanted to just guide it down to third man. A thick outside edge went past Rishabh Pant. And this one, wow, a full pitch delivery driven by Maharaj on the up. It was from the middle of the bat. It looks pretty good, but it went straight to the fielder at deep point for no run, for a single, 278 for 7.
Yeah, very confident shot indeed by Keshav Maharaj. Only for a single. That brings on David Miller now. Krishna coming around the wicket in the Carlton Grove end. We have a backward point, for 5. Extra cover, long on, deep point, mid wicket, and a man standing at long off.
We also have a bowler coming in from the Carlton Grove end around the wickets to David Miller. It's a slower ball that is full and on off stump. David Miller runs the first one hard, but Keshav Maharaj wasn't keen on the second one. Just 279 now to end the 279 for 7 to end the 48 over. Miller on 32 runs and Keshav Maharaj on 5.
Slower delivery there by Krishna, bringing a bit of variety. Going with quite a lot of short balls and with a lot of vimmer behind that ball. It's always nice to see a bit of variety from the bowlers, especially in the ODIs, because we know in the T20s it happens quite a lot.
Indeed, variety will be the name of the game here. The slower balls, the slow ball bounces, slow ball Yorkers, just some variation will be the key for the bowling teams. That is where most of the wickets have come from. Batters mistiming it. Not quite getting the middle of the bat. So the South African bowlers, especially the likes of Andile Pehlukwayo, will be licking their lips. Bumrah coming around the wicket to David Miller. Back of a length delivery, angled into the left-hander and just guided to short third man for a single. 280 for 7.
Just the fielding position now for Keshav Maharaj. You've got a man that's standing at short third man. What looks like backward point. Deep extra cover, man standing at mid on, man standing mid off. The Indians seem to be moving around quite a lot. Got 3 men riding the pound on the leg side. 2 men, deep fine leg comes in inside the circle. Now standing at short fine leg. Jasprit Bumrah for Kishi.
This one, good length delivery outside off stump, and Keshav just throws the kitchen sink at this one, but the kitchen sink missing the ball, all ends up. Still 280 now for 7 as David Miller just coming down the pitch just to chat to his one-day international vice captain, maybe just saying, hey, just give me the strike, my man. I'm the big hitter here.
Yeah, so in the break, of the innings break, we were full quota podcast with the SA women's coach Hilton Moring.
It's going to be a good listen. The full quota podcast has been going for some time, and Keshav Maharaj gets hold of this one, but didn't quite middle it as it was in the air going towards the long on. The fielder at long on, it bounced short, and the South Africans get one more run on the board. Great bowling here from Jasprit Bumrah with that full length ball on off stump.
Well, I think Keshav found himself a bit lucky there. That the ball not reaching that long on region. There was a man just under the ball, but obviously not quick enough to see the ball on the floor.
As mentioned, Keshav Maharaj didn't time that ball as well as he would have liked. If he timed it better, it would have been dangerous. Onto the pads of David Miller as he tried a little bit of fancy footwork there. But Jasprit Bumrah was up to the task. A Yorker literally on the toes of David Miller. That was taken, a quick single was taken off that. South Africa moved to 282 for 7 now.
Proper sign of a death bowler by Jasprit Bumrah. We all know that Jasprit is known for his death bowling, especially for the Mumbai Indians and here for the Indian side in the ODIs and T20 side as well.
Keshav Maharaj has 2 balls to face here. Jasprit Bumrah has a man at a catching third man as he just sends this over the bowler's head. It's in the air for a long time as a man comes under it from the long on boundary, and the catch has been taken. Keshav Maharaj has to go as he does rotate the strike, but he loses another wicket here for South Africa. 282 for 8, 282 for 8.
Well, Keshav wasn't lucky this time. The previous ball that he faced fell just short of that long on, man standing at long on. But this time, the man at long on collecting that ball on the floor, and that brings the end to Keshav Maharaj's innings. Keshav only scoring
6 off 5.
6 or 5.
Yes, in just the one boundary, the edge that ran all the way to the boundary. But that brings in Sasanda Magala to the crease. Sasanda Magala, who random fanboy said that it's his last chance today. Last chance, maybe he'd be keen to score runs as well. He can wield the bat to some extent. Can Sasanda Magala, considered as a bowling all-rounder, or rather a bowler that can wield the blade in his domestic. He does average 16 at a strike rate of 123 in T20, so he can accelerate the run rates. And one day in List A games, just 83 though. So a few lusty blows here. Doesn't have to face too many deliveries. Doesn't even have to face this one as the batters crossed. David Miller now on strike for Jasprit Bumrah.
Well, Bumrah coming around the wicket and one again.
Around the wickets, David Miller, a full delivery on the pads. A Yorker that's just whipped off the pads for a single. So David Miller retains the strike here in the final over. South Africa moved to 283 for 8 with 1 over left.
1 over left. 17 runs that we're talking about. Is this it? So we said 300 more.
Literally, it will take 17 runs here.
17 runs.
And Sabir Khan will be happy. The South Africans will be happy. David Miller will be the right man for the job here. And you would have felt that David Miller hasn't really struck as well as we would have expected if you're a South African fan. And striking out literally a runner ball, 35 off 35. And Miller time not quite in full effect.
Yeah, Miller only scoring 35 runs off 35 balls, just going shy at runner ball. We need that Sri Lanka, that World Cup, that innings that he had against Sri Lanka. I think we'll need that in this over.
Krishna coming around the wickets, the left-handed Miller. It's a full ball outside the off stump. David Miller throws his hands at it, gets a big top edge that just clears the fielders behind square on the offside. So he'll take them any way he comes as he gets a boundary off the first ball.
That ball pitched wide outside off full as well. David Miller, thick outside edge, beating a man standing at the backward point, and that's a short third man in the region.
Only 15 of Bumrah's last 3 overs. So the pick of the bowlers here, the premier pace bowler doing the job for his captain. That's up to Krishna now. At the end of this over now, a back of a length delivery that David Miller could not get hold of. It seems to have rushed him as he tried to just send this through to the square leg boundary. He's disappointed that he didn't get hold of that. It seems to have just rushed him.
Well, that ball, I think he hit his shoulder there. I think he closed that blade of the bat too early there.
Got through, or he got through the shot too quickly as it actually wrapped him on the arm. He was already through his shot and did not get hold of that ball. David Miller now. A full length Yorker outside off stump. It's in the air for a long time. Virat Kohli is standing under it and he effects a brilliant catch at the long off boundary. Very well done from the former Indian captain as KL Rahul comes down to just give him a little bit of glove love. Really enjoying that. A fantastic delivery here from Krishna. Double fives here, high 10. The plan worked for the Indians.
Yeah, the plan definitely worked. Virat Kohli doesn't really miss too many. Virat Kohli taking that one, standing at long on. David Miller scoring 39 there. I think it was 39 balls for David Miller. A nice stint there for David Miller, keeping just 6 runs per over. I think they did. That brings on Ngidi as well now, as the last batsman. I think Magala would like to take most of the strike. Yeah.
Indeed, he probably would. As Lungi Ngidi comes to the crease, and it was the cutter from Krishna, and as mentioned, pace off the ball, variation, making it difficult to get hold of. That was very, very far away from David Miller, and he sort of threw his hands at it. It was in the air for a long time, looking to clear that long off boundary, but didn't get enough of it, didn't get enough pace on the ball to send it to the boundary and pace off the ball, doing the trick here for the Indians, as South Africa now literally 1 wicket away from their innings being wrapped up. 287 now for 9, as Sasanda Magala as now on strike.
Well, it's Krishna's second wicket in this innings, going at 59 runs. He's got 3 balls remaining. Then that will end the close of the first innings here for the Proteas. The Proteas are 287 for 9 with the 3 balls remaining. And Krishna coming over the wicket to Magala coming in the Calville Grove in. We've got a man standing at mid-on, extra cover, backward point, and a man standing at riding the boundary area on the offside.
Full length delivery outside off stump. That's Sasanda Magala tries to slash at, gets an inside edge as it goes into the turf. Rishabh Pant does the fielding behind the stumps. And just look at the last 3 overs, a wicket in each of them. And you have to commend the Indian bowling after a big partnership between Rasifan Dis and Quinton de Kock. Have been in control otherwise, have been sharp in the field, have been bowling with variation that has made it very difficult for the ball to get away, and have kept the South Africans under pressure. A slower ball Yorker that is just dollied up into the air, into the hands of KL Rahul at cover. And it looks like South Africa will not get to the allotted 50 overs as they are dismissed for 287 after 49.4.
Yeah, I mean, the South Africans will obviously be happy, obviously losing quick early wickets for the South Africans with the run-outs from Tema Bavuma, then Quinton de Kock, marshalling the troops very nicely, scoring a century there from that Quinton de Kock. Quinton de Kock scoring 124, then another by Rasifan Dis, another half century by Rasifan Dis. David Miller coming nicely with 39 runs off 8 balls, and that brings on the South Africans with 287 runs all out. And then the Indians will be looking to chase 288.
And just the bowling figures that have also done well. Prashid Krishna did well in his 9.5 overs to take 3 wickets for 59. He's going literally at a run a ball. And Deepak Chahar, Jasprit Bumrah also contributing with 2 wickets each, conceding 53 runs and 52 runs respectively. And those were the pick of the Indian bowlers. The other wicket was taken by Chahal. He just got the 1 wicket, and there was the 2 run-outs as well for the South Africans. And as mentioned, 287 after 49.5 overs. And that will end the first innings here. Don't go away. There will be some content for you to listen to. The Full Quota podcast with Hilton Moreng will be playing at the break. So we will see you later.
So this is
Life is lazy, life is sweet when January comes. As long as one team's bowling and the others making runs. I know as soon as I wake up, it's my lucky day. If the cricket's on the ABC, then everything's okay. And the cricket's on my radio, and everybody's laying low. As long as there's a game somewhere, it's all I need to know. And there's cricket on my radio.
Circles with the World Cup just about the corner. Ready for the line. Just by the carry. At the higher up, at the more intense. But good.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. Very much a fan of this and working with the women's team. But without further ado, I think let's bring on Coach Hilton Moreng to come through onto the show, onto the Full Coach podcast to discuss the women's team and to talk about the plans going to the World Cup. Coach Hilton, thank you very much for joining us and sparing some time to chat with us today.
Good morning, I'm Pontem, and thanks for having me, and looking forward to.
Coach, yeah, thank you very much. Coach, it's been a very great year for your team, and I think you've been there for 8 years. Have you ever had a year like this where you are unbeaten from a series perspective throughout? You've been there since 2012. Is this one of those years where you're like, Lord, thank you very much, but maybe carry it over into 2022 a little bit?
It will be ideal to carry it over. I think, yeah, it's been our best year and a half that we had thus far. I think the basis of that is the build-up that we had. I mean, we have very good core players now. I think it's a team that has been coming along for a very long time. Most of these players now have been together for the last 8 to 12 years, playing together. They're now what we call or what we regard in the country as senior players, more mature, the good core players. And the fact that they've been playing around these leagues also added to their experience, so you can see how they go about their business. Even youngsters coming in, it makes it very easy for us to make sure that they can blend in and learn quicker because they got experience on the park. Because the best way to learn as a youngster is on the park than actually sitting on the side. So that's far for us been the best year, and as like you say, we're working hard to make sure it keeps continuing, and hopefully goes well into the World Cup.
I think we're unique because now, as you can see, we are in a studio atmosphere. We're not in a remote atmosphere anymore. But then how do we kind of continue to use StreamYard is pretty much every show we have has a remote guest in. So we bring our remote guests through StreamYards. We have virtual events still with all of our season ticket holders and our VIP clients. All of that is going to be produced through StreamYard. And we have podcasts, which have guests from any location will come through via StreamYard. So for us, I mean, I have a feeling this is why we're on a stream like this with you guys for StreamYard Business, but we are extremely happy with everything we've been able to do with StreamYard.
What if you could make a full-time living online, getting paid for your advice? You might not know this, but there is a surge of people launching brand new websites that are making between $5,000 and $10,000 a month getting paid for their expertise and their knowledge. People like Jude DePaula, who sells a course about designing a beautiful home, or Kara Stein, who teaches people how to write a best-selling book, and Hunter Masters, who teaches guys how to dance with their wife or girlfriend. My name is Scott Moran. I'm the creator of Samcart, one of the top e-commerce platforms in the world. And all of these three people use our software to launch and sell their own products and services, which means I get to see behind the scenes of what's working for these and thousands of other businesses. So if you want to know how to get paid for your advice, your knowledge, or your expertise, then do not miss our next free training, where we reveal the simple 10-step system that all of these people use to launch their own digital product. Inside of this training, I'm going to reveal the most profitable niche to sell to, what type of product you should create, how to create that product in under 72 hours, what to name it, what to price it, how to find tons of people who will buy it online, and the simple one-page template that you can use to sell it. This training is 100% free and only lasts about 30 minutes, so it is well worth your time. And if you're thinking, why would you just give this process away? The answer is very, very simple. My hope is that you use the 10 secrets I'll show you to build your own six-figure online business, and then use Samcart to power it. To get access to this training, just click the button down below this video, jump into our next available session, and I'll see you there.
That's true, and we hope so too.
No, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. You're doing a great job at the moment. Just to sort of, I guess, fast forward and a little bit, just until this last series against the Caribbean. What were your goals as a unit going forward with this unit, particularly with the World Cup just around the corner? So what were the goals and plans that you had for this particular series?
For us, the most important thing is we got a competitive series, and the most challenging one was away from home in tough conditions. And the last time we were there, it was not a very good one. I think we struggled a bit, and then we drew all series against them. Although we've been in the lead, and they came back and they drew. So for us, the initial goal, we were just happy first to have the full squad again since the World Cup, because we've been hindered by injuries, challenges. As you could see, we had different captains in different tours, and it was the first time now since the World Cup we had our captain back. And then having the full squad again was helping, because we're not so far away, from 5 months away from the World Cup. So the initial goal for us is just to make sure now as a squad we can touch base with everyone that's back from injury rehab, and make everyone is fit now. Now we can see how we go in these conditions. And at the back of it, we knew that we haven't won a series. You know, West Indies is a team that plays well on those very challenging conditions, extreme heat, very slow wickets. So we needed us to adapt. So hence we felt that with the experience that we have in the squad, it was the best time now to make sure that we can turn that around and put one up against them. So for us, the goal was to make sure we win and make sure each and everyone in the squad in an ideal situation, we get everyone, we give them a go and see how they go. Because, you know, in the World Cup, you're only as strong as what your squad is. I mean, the first 11 is the least of your worries. When you go into a World Cup, is the players are sitting on the bench that you know they can come in any day and make an impact. And the only way you could know is by them getting opportunities in the build-up, not only playing on 12, 13 players and focusing on them. And you have a challenge in the World Cup, then you're struggling. So it was good for us. I mean, we had the idea, the first 3 games, the way it went in the ODI, we were able to rotate the squad, and it allowed us to see who can do what and what the other players can do in the squad. So overall, it was very good for us. And I think we achieved our goal that we set ourselves. Firstly, we touched base with everyone, revisited where we want to go as a team regarding the World Cup, knowing that it's 5 months away, and then making sure that we win a series in the West Indies.
You're one of the coaches in the country who are leading a team that's actually winning and has a winning culture. How do you foster that culture? Speaking even with the players that you're speaking about who are on the bench from 12 to 15, how do you get them to be ready all the time. Because if you look at Tasman Birds, Annika Bosch, Laura Goodall, Dumisi Kukune, and the list goes on with the players who were on the bench, Nalo Jafta, whenever they came on, they were ready. And it's hard as a sportsman to be on and off. How did you manage to foster that culture of always be ready?
Is the most difficult thing, because where the level we operate it's a level where you have to win. Everybody expects you to win, especially when you go in the park, and something like that is neglected often is development of players, because youngsters have to come in somewhere. They will make mistakes. Sometimes it's going to be mistakes that's costly that nobody's going to like, but there's always a bigger picture. I think post the 2017 World Cup, and we came close in the semi-final. Through the selection, we sat down and looked at how we're going to go to the next 50 World Cup, and then we identified a squad of 24 players that we kept working on. I think the good thing for us thus far, when we had camps, it allowed us to work with the youngsters, because most of the senior players, they would be away on T20 leagues, going abroad. So it gives us the attention to detail to the youngsters. Those that they were fringe players then, and how they can establish themselves in the squad. So you keep working with them, you set with them, and you set performance plans for them, and you monitor it through the relationship that we have with the coaches at the provinces that look after the players on a daily basis to make sure that whatever they work on, it's not contradicting to what we want to achieve for these players. So communication is constant around the country between us as coaches and the coaches in the provinces, to make sure that that information is flowing and players know exactly where they stand in the system. And through that, we had often camps, and when players come in, and 9 out of 10 times where there's an opportunity. I think this year, when everybody went to the IPL and some play at the 100 now, we had an opportunity to bring in more youngsters to see how they can go and how the progress is going. So the inclusion of the Nisha in the system now helped us, because now you can communicate as somebody that can be hands-on there, who understands what is it that we're working towards, who's been in the system. So communication and the work through us department makes it very easier for us now, because you can actually speak to somebody who can actually look after these players. So through camps and where there's an opportunity, we always try to add in 1 or 2 youngsters to make sure there's continuity, and they understand that when the opportunity comes, how far are you from the team? If it happens that you get there, what is expected? How do you go about it? So, like I said, your first 12, 13 players, as players that is established, they understand, they've been there, they've done it for a while. And it's like you play player 14 to 20, 24, is the ones that we actually have been hampering on, going around the country, visiting the provinces, making sure that there's continuous work being done. That is the only opportunity now. So, but that's why when you see them, when they get opportunities, like they've been there, because they've been practicing with these girls, they've been working around the clock, they've just been sitting and waiting for the opportunity, which is always a difficult part, like I say, because all players want to play. Unfortunately, you can only play 11 at a time. So those not playing, you need to make sure they stay sharp, and for them to stay sharp is to keep them motivated and they understand the bigger picture where we're going.
60 cents back per litre in e-bucks on fuel at engine.
Yeah, I hear lots of words like pipeline and communication. Very, very important with the two there, with having a